Calxiyn and Hunter here. Hopefully you are seeing this live. If you are not seeing this live, I mean, even if you are seeing this live, you should subscribe for more RWBY videos. Check out the Patreon to see our reaction early, all that fun stuff. But yeah, we should be live. We're going live in every week because we can't edit these stupid lives. I need to go on my phone and post the link on Twitter and all that stuff. And so yeah, nothing to see here, nothing very unusual or anything. But yeah.
I feel like I can just talk about. This is like, I could really hijack these sections.
Hunter hour.
Hunter soapbox.
Yeah.
So something that was beautiful that many of you will not see unless you're Patreons is that everyone knows and loves Calxiyn's massive pink water bottle. Yes, the gallon jug.
Yes.
The big boy, as it's lovingly referred to. And for some reason, you were just like drinking it before we were going to start filming the reaction.
Cal, the title is wrong again? I just fixed that. I will fix it again. We don't need to restart. Hopefully it'll just update. Guys, what was the name of the episode? I don't remember.
Oh, God.
Ultimatum.
Yes.
Is that spelled right?
Nope,
no, it's
not. There
Thanks.
it is.
There we go. Okay. Do you guys see it? If you guys refresh, can you guys refresh and tell us if the thing's correct now? I don't think that I ever said it. I think that I just forgot. I think that it was just the same title as last week. Because usually I fix it, like I change it. I think I just didn't change it. So, yeah.
It's a big oopsie.
So did you guys, if you guys refresh it, does it say episode 9? Or, sorry, does it not say episode 9? Does it say episode 10? It is episode
what episode are we
10.
on?
Does it say episode 10?
It's good. Okay.
Cal, did you change for the reaction? No. I'm still wearing my Crow shirt. Yeah, so I really did think, I really fucking thought that Crow was gonna go after, I mean, he still is, okay? He still is.
Up.
He will go after Ironwood, it just didn't happen.
We got to see Crow snap a motherfucker's neck. Just...
Yeah, but I'm saying, we didn't get to see him, go after Ironwood yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Wait, you didn't finish telling them the water
Back
bottle
to the water.
story
so
because you got distracted by the chat.
And you're holding it there, and I don't think I even said anything, but
No.
I heard you make a noise, like a gurgle, or at least in the record you can hear you make a gurgle. And then you put it down, and like Old Yeller, not Old Yeller, like Old Faithful, like a spouting whale, you just... and the water shoots everywhere, and you make this horrible, I can't do it justice. You really have to become a Patreon and watch it. It is the most beautiful.
I'll post
we have
it
a
on
lot
the
of
Patreon
bullshit
later.
that we cut out, and a lot of it is wonderful bullshit that we recycle into the fine compost that our lovely Patreons get to watch. But that was beautiful. I was on the floor. Oh, it's gorgeous.
So yeah, you guys can check that out on the Patreon. I'll post that later today. But yeah, okay, so I'm done tweeting. We've done it, I think. Except it says 9. Okay. But why did I took the picture when it still said 9. Why did I do that? Now I need to take a new picture and make it 10. I'm so sorry, guys.
I could still keep on going. I fixed it. I got it now. I was really excited for
this. It's okay. I saved my tweet. Let me just put a new picture.
Because...
Welcome, guys, to the stream, by the way. Thanks, everyone.
This is what happened when we do one of these episodes when you're not on your ADD medication. We're a goddamn mess.
God, yeah, we are. We kind of are. Okay, everything is fine. I have posted the tweet. We did it. Yeah, if somebody could, maybe post in the Discord server in the RWBY Volume 8 chat that, I've gone live, our title was just wrong, and we're actually doing this episode and stuff, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, I asked the Discord server, so I was already dressed as Crow. Oh, I guess, I'm, doing my thing or whatever. And, I was like, hey guys, did Crow, even appear in this episode? And, you guys were like, not really! And I was like, well, it's too late for me to change. I already did my eye makeup to match the shirt. It was too late. This episode fed everyone, yes. I want to make a bold proclamation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I did not like Cinder's backstory. Everyone knows that. I didn't like it. I thought it was boring. But Watts' speech has done more for Cinder's character than everything else, backstory included, combined. Okay, and so I just think that Watts scene has done so much more for Cinder than her backstory did. Like, I feel like that I actually care about Cinder now after seeing her reaction to what Watts said. And maybe I'm just like a very malleable person. Like, I see someone cry and
scene.
I like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, if you don't feel sad when you see other people cry, like, I don't know how your empathy is. I know Cinder's bad, but like, seeing characters cry just makes me so sad. And so I don't know if I'm just easily swayed or whatever, but I feel like that's like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I also feel like this episode
empathy,
had
crazy.
a higher than average. We're hyped for every episode of RWBY, but this one, the hype levels were especially high because it ended on such a cliffhanger.
Exactly.
With the Ozpin power that I was really wrong about, and we're just not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
Beyond
Hunter's theory did not come true.
Really didn't. And then the fact that we also had to wait an extra week, it was so worth it. This was probably, I feel like I've said that this was the best episode of RWBY that they've done so far, like 3 times so far in this season, but it's just so good.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing, there's so many standout scenes.
I think that this was definitely, like, for character moments, like, I don't remember if we had it in the Oscars. We're doing the Oscars this year, by the way. I don't know if anybody else knows that, but we are. So we're doing the Oscars this year, and the whole thing about, like, the Oscars was that we did best fight scene, but I can't remember if we did best emotional scene, but I feel like that we could, because I see this volume as having at least 2 monologues just in this episode, and I feel like that there have been other ones. There's been other monologues, right? But I feel like that Ironwood's monologue, and then, like, at the end of this episode, and that also Watts' monologue to Cinder, like, that would be really good. I think that would be a good category to do also emotional scenes, not just fight scenes, because they are fighting with their words. So I feel like that would be really good. But yeah, so we're doing that. I mean, not just like us, like Arnold and I are hosting it, and then me and Hunter will read off a category to represent the Calxiyn section, if that makes sense, to represent the Calxiyn channel. But technically, like, Arnold needs me to, like, help him host and stuff. Like, I wrote all the scripts for hosting last year, so like, me and Arnold will be the host, but then me and Hunter will also read a category for our Calxiyn representation.
Did I end up writing some stuff?
Yeah, you helped too.
Did too.
So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do the Oscars. Okay, so let's get started in actually discussing everything. But before we get to that, I just want to give you guys 2 things, okay? And I'm gonna be posting these periodically. So one in the chat is the Patreon post. So if you want to see our reaction early, I just posted that. And then the other one is the Discord server link if you guys want to talk with us. I noticed, like, when I posted it in the chat, apparently you guys find that much easier than opening the description and clicking on it for some reason. So I'm just gonna stick it in there because, I mean, it's I don't know, it's like less steps, right? But yeah, so let's talk about this. Like, man, they popped off. Lighting and visual effects team, like, a lot of people, including us, like, I'm not gonna lie,
the prettiest looking episode of RWBY there's ever been.
We have said before, like, oh yeah, the animation looks so good, but we're actually talking about the effects. So I feel like now we're much more, like, conscious about like who does what and everything. So I would like to say the lighting and the effects people, they popped off, and the crowd background people, because apparently that's its own, like, thing. Like, I looked in the Volume 7 end credits for something, and, like, there are people that are designated just to do the crowd backgrounds. And so, like, they popped off. Like, everything just looks so beautiful in this episode, right? And so I love this scene just because they look so fucking sick.
I love how they're standing by a door that has been violently pried open.
I know, like, look at this.
I'm guessing that was from the RWBY versus Aesop stuff.
Yeah, because they went, right? And so, like, look at all the damage in this room. You have that, and then you can see Ironwood's desk before, not the one he breaks this episode, but where he slammed it a while ago. Like, that was a thing, right?
And also, presumably, out there is still destroyed from...
little destruction.
They walked from, like, a destroyed lobby into a destroyed office.
Yeah. And so, look at how nervous these 2 people are. They're like, ah. Yeah, the aesthetics for the chapter were, like, top tier aesthetics, if you ask me. Branwen and Hill have evaded capture, so this was fun. Crow. Hi.
Oh, boy.
Raven was mentioned this episode, so like we're winning, aren't we? I won, didn't I? Cries. Anyway, we are monitoring every exit, so I love this because they turned over a little rock or something, I guess, and then they just like and basically what Crow did was he like popped in, popped out, and I just like
that was so
Crow
weird
literally
because,
choked this person to death.
Which I feel like they could have animated that a little bit better, because he just does like a chokehold, but then he immediately drops. And I think what they wanted to do was have him snap his neck, because that would cause him to instantly drop. But they either couldn't or they ran out of time.
I hope Robin's okay.
To have him snap a neck.
I hope Crow didn't get Robin shot, but okay, it didn't happen this episode. But considering the fact that they're still in the compound, as can be heard by. Where was it heard by? They said it. I missed it, I guess. Oh yeah, so they still must be inside of the compound. So let's analyze and talk about that particularly. I do think that even though it did not happen this episode, that if Robin and Crow are still inside of the compound, and if Robin does not feel like, oh, I'm gonna go back and help the Happy Huntresses, like if she doesn't feel like that she would get there in time to do anything and that she is better served helping Crow kill Ironwood, they will go kill Ironwood. Mm-hmm. That is my opinion of what they are going to do next. Because I even said this morning, I was like, wouldn't Robin want to go back to Mantle? Like, that's her whole thing. But at the same time, how do you get down there? Do you steal an airship? Like, at the time where they're, shooting Schnee Dust Company airships, it doesn't seem like it's a great idea. So now, how I'm looking at it is, unless Crow can split his bird powers with Robin or something and share half with her, and, she just has, she's not even, turns into a bird. She just has, bird wings for hands, and she goes, whee! And then she flies away. Like, unless she, somehow, Crow splits his magic for some reason, I think that they are both going to go assassinate Ironwood. Yeah. I think that that's pretty fair.
I think they're just, running and fighting their way through the halls of the Schnee base.
Yeah.
Because things are so chaotic that I feel like they would be able to traverse it and potentially get to Ironwood. My issue is that, who goes to Ironwood first?
What do you mean?
Crow,
Team RWBY? Or?
Yeah, Team RWBY, or is it Crow and Robin?
I think Crow and Robin would make it first, because they're in the compound. All they have to do is find their weapons, like the chat is saying. And then after that, right? Because, okay, so RWBY, Team RWBY, they have to deal with, right, Watts. They have to deal with Cinder. They have to deal with Hacked Penny, right? And all of those things lead to a point where they would get back here, because that's where the vault is, right? Like, if all of them chase after Penny and then Cinder's chasing after Penny, if everyone's headed to the vault and to, where Ironwood is, right? Obviously, they would get there eventually, but they would still have to walk. It's still gonna take a minute, right? And so I feel like that more likely is that Robin and Crow possibly may even team up with Winter and Marrow to take down Ironwood. Maybe they'd all fight against the Aesops, and then they'd fight against Ironwood themselves, because I think that Winter is in some trouble after this episode. I think Marrow definitely wants to defect. I think that Marrow is not, not happy anymore, right? And so there's that aspect as well. And so I feel like that they will go with Winter and Marrow, and they will go after Ironwood. And it would also kind of be a nice parallel, because even though Crow's connection to Marrow is irrelevant, he doesn't have one, but think about Winter and Crow fighting against each other in Volume 3 and now fighting together. For all the reasons that Crow disliked her, she is now turned against that, and she is now fighting against Ironwood, right? Because I feel like that Crow didn't really like Winter, because she was sort of Atlas specialist, a little uppity, a little very by the rules, whereas he didn't really like that. He didn't really, he breaks the Atlas drone. He has a little, disrespect towards Ironwood, because Ironwood, wasn't taking his calls and all that stuff, right? If you were one of my men, I'd have you shot. If I were one of your men, right? And so I feel like that he really didn't like Winter, because Winter was one of his men, or women in this case, right? And so I feel like that it would be a nice parallel to how they fought before to them fighting together. That is how I feel like is good.
Yeah, that could really work. I feel like we're going to end up doing a theory video based off of the kind of what happens with Crow and Robin, what
Yeah.
happens with Team RWBY.
I agree.
I have kind of an idea that I think it'll be very interconnected and messy. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it. But I feel like this is the first time. What I really love about this episode is that so much that we thought was going to happen did not happen. No
it
one.
didn't.
I don't think anybody predicted like
I didn't think they'd
Ironwood
reunite this
not using the
fast.
bomb
Yeah.
and then using it on Mantle. No one saw that like heel
I don't think
turn.
so.
Yeah, it's no one. No
I
one
don't
even
think
thought
anyone
that like.
predicted that.
I don't think anyone guessed that Neo would force Cinder to try to kill RWBY in order to get the relic.
No,
back.
I didn't think of that either. Like,
So,
everyone was
yeah.
sort of thinking, like, oh, she'll ask a question, you know, she'll ask something about Roman. Like, everyone sort of thought that, but she doesn't even care about asking a question. I think she knows everything she needs to know, but now she's just using it as leverage. Like, I don't think that we thought that. I mean, I don't remember our Neo video that well, but I don't think, we may have, like, said like slightly like, oh yeah, maybe she won't ask anything, maybe she just wants it, right, or something.
Yeah.
But like otherwise we really thought she was gonna ask a question. Now it doesn't seem like she really cares at all, and so I think that's sort of interesting. But yeah, now that
That's what I like about RWBY is that they pull twists on you, but it's always twists that feel natural.
it's not
like,
really a twist. It's
or just like a
our
new direction.
expectations didn't go the way we expected,
they're-
and that's not a bad thing, right?
Because it's like Game of Thrones did the same thing where they take your expectations and they subvert it, but they kept on doing it until the story wasn't good anymore. RWBY doesn't do that.
Yeah.
They subvert your expectations, but it still feels natural.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it was really, I like where they went with it, even though like I don't think that we could have predicted that. I don't think that like I never saw that Ironwood would literally just bomb Mantle like to do all this. I think it's really interesting, but yeah, that's basically all for the Robin and Crow stuff for now. Again, maybe we'll make a video on it. I don't know why you guys are talking about the Targaryen guy. Like, I don't think Ironwood's even the mad, like, he's not insane. Like, this
is all calculated.
This is calculated to him, right?
Yeah. I also have you noticed in this episode there's been a lot of focus on Ironwood's arm?
Yeah.
His robot arm, like a lot of zoom ins for it, a lot of like him checking it. So I wonder if we're gonna get like a backstory, origin story.
That
for
was his
arm.
human arm, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that he keeps looking at it because it's a representation of what he sacrificed in order to get here. Like, he literally was fighting with Watts and pulled his arm out of the hard light dust, and now, like, that has become a robot part of him as well. And so I don't think it's like, oh, like, he's becoming less human. Like, I don't think it's like that. I think it's more, he keeps looking at his arm because it's a representation of his continuous sacrifice, that it didn't just...
His ambition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I
like,
really like that.
How determined he is. Not necessarily... Because I get he's based on the Tin Man, right? So people are obviously going to say the whole, like, oh, he's, you know, he's losing his heart instead of gaining his heart. He. But I don't think that that's... I think that that's, like, when you talk about it in terms of, like, having, like, a prosthetic and a disability, I think that's kind of sus.
A little weird.
And so I think instead...
You become less human.
His arm is instead representing his determination and, like, representing his ambition and how far he's willing to go.
Maybe to an extent his fear.
Right? Yes, exactly.
I think it works really well. Yeah,
so
I really enjoy that interpretation.
I think that's a better interpretation than, like, oh, he's becoming less human. I don't think that that's very nice. Thank you, N7, for the $2 super chat. You didn't say anything, but thank you. Let's see. What are you guys talking about? All chaos? Full calculated desperation. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think he's mad. Like, Tyrion's mad, right? And so I feel like that this is more, again, like, I think it's a calculated move. It makes sense in his mind. Again, I wouldn't advocate for it. Don't do the genocide, right? Like,
imagine if someone committed genocide and was like, you know, I wasn't gonna do it, but I was watching this YouTuber.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know. It's hard to talk about these things because inherently some people will be like, oh, like, Cal said this, so she must support that. Like, it's not, like, first of all, like, this isn't real. But if it was, no. But we're talking about it in the context of the story. Like, I don't think that it's out of Ironwood's character, is basically what I'm saying. That I don't think that it's out of his mindset. Not like, oh, yeah, I would do the same thing if I were Ironwood. Like, it's nothing like that. But instead, it's, in terms of how his character arc is being being written, does this make sense as like the next step to continue? And I think that it does make a lot of sense. They baited the kiss. I mean, we'll talk about that. I don't think that they necessarily baited the kiss.
I think it works for them.
As much as they're taking it slow. Like, this is a slow burn. It's not a fucking race, okay? Like, if there are 14 volumes, do they need to, like, you know, kiss right now? Like, I don't know. But I feel like it would have been a good place for them to kiss, though. Like, after thinking that the other one was, like, in danger and possibly dead. I think it would have worked, but I don't think that it doesn't work to do the head thingy.
We'll go into that in more detail when we get to that point.
But see this, like, he's trying to act so strong, and he's trying to act so tense, and then he just, like, like, he just, you know what I mean? He just deflates, and I really like that for his characterization. What do you think the chances
is that, like, Ironwood just shoots himself in the head?
Oh, well, that's dark and demonetizable.
It's very dark, but, like, do you think... Because he looks like he's kind of teetering on the edge of desperation, so I wonder if that's how he will end up going.
I don't feel like he would kill himself, but rather, I think that our theory about Atlas falling and him refusing to evacuate, like the captain goes down with his ship, I feel like that could happen. So again, like, that is him, like, committing himself to death in a sense. If he has the opportunity to evacuate but stays there because he feels like that is that's his responsibility as a leader, or like the captain or the general, that he like deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, he deserves to stay here while Atlas falls because he caused the fall of Atlas. So I could see that way, but I don't think that he would actually like do the bads like you're talking about. I think that it would be a less graphic scene in terms of like he's just sitting here looking out the window and Atlas is falling and we know that he's there.
I could see that.
That is how I more so see it. I don't think RWBY would get that dark. I don't know,
man. He's basically like, I will kill everyone with a big bomb.
If they did that, I feel like that you would have to... you would probably have to put like some sort of like trigger warning at the beginning. Like, I know Netflix does that, but like people don't necessarily think of RWBY when they think of that sort of content.
If I saw an episode of RWBY and it had a violence warning before it, I would be shit terrified.
I think you would have to put a violence warning because like people, like if you watch a show that has like very mature themes, like inherently you sort of think like, okay, things could go into that direction, right? Like, okay, 13 Reasons Why is trash, but like if you know the plot, you do know that it revolves around suicide to an extent, and they still should put a warning. But people watch that show getting into it, right? But I feel like for RWBY, they'd have to put a warning. They can't just do that. They can't just spring that on us. I don't think. They have an epilepsy warning at the beginning.
I feel like what they would do that was different from, like, I haven't watched the show to my understanding, that there's a long, drawn-out sequence where the girl commits suicide.
Yeah.
With this, I feel like you would just hear a bang from outside of a room with the implication that,
I see what you mean.
You know, he blew his brains out.
But yeah.
So I don't think they would be very like gruesome with the details.
Yeah, like the chat saying, we did have a warning before this episode. So I feel like that if they wanted to do that, they should put a warning. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, this is kind of weird, but it reminds me...
If you say Kingdom Hearts, I'm going to scream.
No. There's a scene in the Anastasia Broadway musical where the guy... I don't know if he was based on a real person or whatever, but like the guy that's, I guess, leading Russia or whatever, he's doing the thing, right?
Vladimir Lenin?
No, it wasn't Lenin.
Oh,
like,
the Russian
Glenn.
dude.
His name was Gleb or something.
Yes,
his name was Glenn, I think. And so Glenn like chases Anastasia all the way to France, and he goes to kill her. He puts the gun towards himself. He can't do it, and then he drops it, and it's a very like sort of dark scene. So I sort of imagine that, like, you hear the bullet, but then you see that he didn't actually like do it, and so that's what I'm imagining. Except in your case, like he would have. Really but yeah, I think that the sinking with the ship thing is kind of a better idea.
And in that regard. Then we get R.I.P. Monstro 2020 2021.
Yeah, that was not
in the
really
arms of an angel.
Did you guys see the STC planes he blew up? Yes, we did see that. Cal, can you post a link to the Patreon and the Discord in Discord? Okay, I will do that for you guys. Okay, I have posted that in the staff chat. Thank you, Dom.
Am I the only one who thought that Monstro was kind of cute and is kind of sad that he's like, I have a stomach ache?
I don't think it's a stomach ache. I think it's more that he has
a side of him blown out.
So I feel like that's
I don't know.
Basically from the brain area. I don't think that's really good at all.
It's hard to tell. You get some impressions that like it looks like one 1/4 to 1/8 of him got blown up.
Yeah.
To 1/6 of him.
So this is crazy too, because
Yeah.
like, I mean, I guess what happened here's what I would guess, is that this is akin to maybe like a silver-eyed warrior energy, because it didn't
Yeah.
seem to hurt anybody else. Like, they get blown back, but see this is the same sort of lighting when you have silver-eyed warrior stuff, for lack of a better word. Silver-eyed warrior stuff, right? So here's what I'm thinking in terms of, I guess, I mean, what if, like, we make, because I titled your theory, like, Hunters, like, Ozpin's cane theory will blow your mind. Like, what if I'm like, Calxiyn Ozpin cane theory will be actually correct, or something? But yeah, so here's my theory about the kinetic energy situation. I feel like, yes, I think that it is, magic-oriented. I don't want to give everything away if we do make a video, right? But what I do think is that the cane was the staff. Like, you guys remember that Ozma went like, whee! Ozma had that, like, staff that he, like, you know, what do you call it? Swung around, and it had that, like, green diamond situation, right? And then he sort of had it, and then it disappeared, and he had the cane instead. I'm assuming that that staff used to have, like, used to be the, or wait, not the staff used to be the cane used to be the staff. So I'm assuming that the staff, basically transformed into the cane over time. And if the staff was from the old world, it would sort of hold to reason that it is some sort of magical item, in my opinion. Like, I would feel like...
And I think we brought that up.
Yeah, we did. So you were right. So, kind of.
I was
so
mostly
right.
That's not really
And
confirmed.
so, when you think about it, okay, you have this staff, and I'm sure that the job of the staff back then was to channel your own magic through the staff and have it, like, whee, like, have it go out, right? Like, it's basically a wand, right? And so I'm sure that basically what Ozpin did is he stored up all of, like, this magic, and it sort of built up over time, like, bouncing around in the staff, if that makes sense. Kinetic doesn't equal magic. I mean, this is a world where science and magic, like, interject a lot, right? And so I feel like how, like, the energy, like, the kinetic energy basically went into the staff, it's bounced around in the staff, and that is how it's built up, it's built up over time.
It has that ability through magic.
Yes, it has that ability through whatever magical wands they used to have in the old world. And then, when you think about, like, what's happening here, I feel like that it would be at least, like, a silver-eyed related magic, like creation magic, if that makes sense.
Maybe.
Not necessarily like silver-eyed warrior specifically, but we have to look at like the symbolism of this. Like, think about how many times this is done. This is only done when Ruby uses her silver eyes. And so I feel like that at some point, the staff, like, basically garnered enough creation magic, or, like, whatever magic the god of light, like, gave them, right? Because it sort of implied that he gave them creation and knowledge, and then, obviously, the god of darkness gave them choice and then destruction, right? And you have that whole thing. Cal, you're giving so much away. I know. It's okay, though. You guys, some of you will watch the video, but yeah. So, basically, that's what I'm thinking as of right now. Maybe I need to look into it more.
Alternatively, it could just be, like, the kinetic energy also appears as light energy.
Sure.
And flashes and blinds people.
I think that it's kind of like tangentially related though, because you have, the god of light somehow created silver-eyed warriors. Well, how did he do that? With his power. And when you think about it, like, the silver eyes is just a manifestation of the magic from the old world. And so I feel like that this is basically like very similar in that way, but I don't know. But it killed Hazel. But did it? We don't know. Did it kill Hazel, or did somebody else kill Hazel, right? So that's the other thing, is that we don't know. First of all, I feel like, and maybe we could ask, like, maybe if, you know, like, if Hazel is dead, I don't see why RWBY would withhold that information from us, because if he's dead, it's not going to be a big surprise, like, oh yeah, Hazel was alive all along. Like, after Roman was eaten, I'm pretty sure that they just said, yeah, Roman's done.
He's not here anymore.
Yeah, he's dead. Right? And so I feel like that if Hazel is supposed to, like, if we are supposed to know as the audience that Hazel is dead, I feel like that RWBY will clarify that for us, because I think a lot of people are confused. However, if it's supposed to be written more ambiguously, where they counted on the fans kind of not knowing, I feel like they will not clarify it. So if Hazel is like big dead, I feel like that they'll say so. If it's supposed to be ambiguous, basically what I'm saying is that if, you know, like the writers were all in a room and they were like, okay, we're gonna kill Hazel, it's gonna be so obvious he's dead, they're like, no one's gonna think that he's not dead, and then everyone is like, Hazel's alive, right? Then they'd correct us, I feel like, because that's sort of us. It's basically like intention versus what actually happened and what the fandom interpreted, right? So if the original intention was to show us like Hazel's dead, like, and we all get carried away,
as
right?
we often do,
They'll be like, settle down, guys, he's actually dead. However,
I think he's probably dead.
I think
he looks like he's vaporized.
I don't know, it's left a little ambiguously.
Is it a little
I think it is.
Is it a little ambiguous?
Somewhere else.
Is it a little
we don't
ambiguous?
know. Oscar shouldn't have survived that blast either. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
Oscar directed it.
I know, but it still went
Salem.
big. Like it still went like this,
and,
right?
And
so how did Oscar
directly
survive?
at Salem, and Hazel was holding
I
Salem.
know.
It's implied.
But do you know what I mean?
I guess, but
because he's still in the blast radius. He's 6 feet. Being 6
maybe,
feet away saved
maybe
him.
That the green,
That's what saved him. Being
maybe
6
the
feet
green
away.
circle saved him. Maybe it was the direction of
I
it
guess
saved
so.
him.
But yeah, I just have.
I'm pretty
questions.
sure. I would be
Hazel
genuinely
and
very
Salem
surprised.
did the fusion dance. That's what I'm sort of wondering. I'm wondering if
Dragon Ball
because
reference, really.
well, I'm saying though, I have no idea what that is. Okay, maybe I shouldn't read the chat if I don't know what stuff is. Here's what I'm saying though. Okay, I know that he had the shield, but I have a theory that because Salem and Hazel blew up at the same time, somehow when Salem rebuilds himself, she will take some like sort of body matter from Hazel. So he'll still be dead, but imagine Salem comes back and she's just like, huh, like she just has like big hulking muscles or something, and she's just the buff goddess that we've all wanted, and so yeah.
I think you might be speaking for yourself a
I'm
little
just saying, I'm sort of wondering, like, because her and Hazel both disintegrated, like, how does this work? You know what I mean?
You want Salem to come
Is it
back
like the water?
him-bolified?
Okay, so
I think Salem comes back because she's an immortal god.
so you guys know.
And Hazel doesn't come back because he just got evaporated.
You guys know, like, how water comes out of the lake and it goes into the sky, and then it's like when it snows, the snow is on the ground, and the snow has all that bad stuff. Like the snow has all of the
germs.
Not germs.
Pollutants.
The snow has all the pollutants from the sky and stuff. That's how I'm imagining Salem coming back. I'm imagining like her and Hazel are the lake. Are the lake, they go into the sky.
Are you implying
and they
that
come
there's going
back
to be
as
a Salem cloud?
yes.
Well, it's looking
Does
a
she
little
become
witchy
9
outside.
foot tall, Cal? Yes. Thank you.
I'm
You
okay
guys
with
know what I
9
mean.
foot tall Salem. I get the feeling that she would be able to have herself grow.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Your
cloud Salem theory is a little
Well,
interesting.
let's get back on topic.
Lovely
because-
lighting effects.
Because we're very off topic, but I'm gonna blame
think-
that on my ADHD medication.
Wow, yeah, you really are off the ADD medication, aren't you?
The water cycle, Cal. Yes. Anyway. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Gorgeous scene.
Gorgeous
this whole scene
lighting.
was
Congratulations to the
some of
lighting
the-
people. That's great. It was beautiful.
Some of the
I
prettiest
love
scenes.
this. Look at this. I mean, that kind of looks a little like.
Okay, it looks better in motion.
Look, little spoiled milky right
Ruby
there.
water always looks a little chunky. I don't know what to say.
But yeah, I think that was probably because in motion it gives the effect that it's supposed to. We just accidentally got the chunky
version.
screenshot, right? But yeah, I really, really like this shot. And then you see it disintegrates all the grid,
Does it
even though
disintegrate them?
look, they were there and now they're gone.
But I thought in motion it kind of looked like they were just pushed back.
Maybe.
I think they were just knocked
I
back.
don't think so. I think that those Grimm actually died, and I think that would give more credence to my
Maybe.
Silver-Eyed theory.
But
it
in
was
my
such a
impression of
nice
it-
scene. Like,
yeah.
the music, like, there was this soft music. It was just
Yes.
so beautiful, like, lighting-wise and everything. Like, it was really nice. But yeah, okay, so...
And then skipping
we don't
through
know
the chaos.
exactly if these Grimm disintegrated. I feel like they did.
I think, okay.
That's just me, but yeah.
Alright. One
If you
Grimm
nuke
that
a
looked
person
like it
in real
did.
life, they will dissolve too. Listen, guys, I don't know. Well, I'm just saying Silver-Eyed Warrior magic. Silver-Eyed Warrior magic doesn't hurt people, so Hazel would be around. But I don't know. We'll figure it out, okay? I'm sure, like, if we were supposed to genuinely think that Hazel was dead right now, I'm sure that they will tell us on Twitter. But if not, they'll probably wait till the end of the volume.
We can use our eyes and our ears and figure out that, yeah, he's probably
I don't
dead.
know. I know there's a 99% chance, but it's the 1% chance that, like... Whoa, what was that? Anyway, there's the 1% chance that, like, lingers in my mind. I swear I saw somebody walking by. Guys,
I also love how chaotic...
There's ghosts.
Like, there's dust everywhere. It also implies that, like, you know, Neo's totally fine. Like, her ears aren't bleeding from the blast.
Yeah,
she's just skipping, having a
she's
gale
fine
time.
too, and she was around. But yeah, I loved this. Like, I thought that this was such a good scene. I love the lighting of seeing the lamp and then just Neo's outline, and she's just...
Prancing.
And, like, I saw this on Twitter, but it was so true. Like, Neo is the only one having any fun right now.
Yeah, really
and
is.
I live for it. Why is Neo the best fucking RWBY character? And I don't say that lightly. Like, genuinely, like, I know that people are
wonderful.
like, oh, like, Neo's overrated. Like, I understand where people are coming from. However, I feel like that Neo genuinely deserves the hype. Like, the reason why she's my favorite is because they put so much effort into animating her movements that she's just so likable and so, like, interesting to watch. And I feel like that she's my favorite character now, not gonna lie. Like, I feel like that maybe Cinder is
She's
rising
definitely
up.
one of them.
Female character anyway. Like, I feel like Ironwood's really good too. But I feel like with, like, Neo, there's just something so special about her. So I feel like
she's the most fun to watch on screen.
Exactly. She's the most fun to watch on screen. I feel like you can't say she's overrated now. Like, my favorite character for a long time was Weiss. And I still like Weiss, but I feel like that Neo is just really, really good. Like, Neo's personality just comes through so well. So yeah, I don't give a fuck if you guys think that she's overrated or whatever. You're wrong, okay? You're wrong about her being overrated. There's something so special about her, and I haven't personally seen a similar character in any of the shows that I've watched, right? Like, all of the anime that I've watched, I don't think I've seen someone like
she
Neo,
has
right?
Bugs Bunny vibes where you could put her in any
like
situation.
Old cartoon sort of vibes?
You could put her in any situation and she would just, like, make shit complicated and annoy people, and I really love it.
I'm sure Team Funky is fine, guys. I like this. This was like a nice little bit of humor right here. Like, that was kind of, you know, a little
implies that,
up of
levity.
humor, you know? Yeah, a little levity to the situation. I feel like
it's nice that
was
no one else's, like, ears are bleeding. I think we got a really lovely... Okay, I used to say that, like, we're gonna get, like, a winter redemption, we're gonna get a Marrow redemption, and we're gonna get a Harriet redemption.
I don't think
we're
Harriet's
getting a redemption now. I think it's just Marrow and it's just winter.
I think that maybe Vine and Elm too. They're gonna be harder to convince. I feel like what will happen is that the fight will start. It's Marrow, Winter, Robin, and Crow fighting the Aesops in Ironwood, and then eventually Vine and Elm switch sides. That's how I sort of see it. Because they still have an emotion here, right? So you see Marrow, I really like this scene.
I love that he's concerned about Jean and Ren and Yang. Like, he's concerned about people not directly related to the mission and Atlas's goals. Yeah. Because when you think about it, he's probably very similar in age to them. He looks like fresh right out of the academy, too.
I don't think Ozpin's magic caused her to not hear, guys. I think it was probably her falling on the fucking floor, or, like, the boom of it hitting the whale, not necessarily, like, the actual magic itself.
Also, can we talk about how beautiful that little shot is?
Yeah,
how
I think that this is great.
The ribs silhouetted in the glow of the sun.
I really liked that. They did such a good job with, like, I don't know what to call it exactly. It's not the camera, is it? It's, like, the storyboarding of how each shot looks. I just feel like there's probably so many people that work on one scene. It's kind of hard to say, like, this, like, particular what do you call it? This particular team, right, is responsible for it, because in this scene you have, like, lighting as a factor, you have the particle effects, which I'm sure are the special effects people, right? Like, you have, like, whoever storyboarded or, like, shot the scene in the first place. Like, I feel like that there's just so many people responsible for bringing these scenes together in the past couple, like, in these past couple, like, scenes, I guess, the ones that, like, really heavily rely on the lighting and the effects to make them, like, look really, really nice. Target destroyed, good work. And I like how, like, Winter doesn't even, like, she's like, we can tell him in person, right? So I feel like that was really great. Cinematography? Yeah, exactly. And so, see, like, Vine tries to comfort her, and so I feel like that Elm is wondering. Like, I feel like that she does feel sad. So I feel like that, even though it's going to be harder for them two to change, I feel like that they could. But I feel like Hare is kind of gunning for Winter's job at the moment. And so she may be too far gone, but I don't know. But see this, like, he tries to comfort her, and then she's just like, don't touch me, this is your fault. You know what I mean? Because Vine just sort of went with it. But it's interesting, because it seems like Vine still cares about Elm. So I feel like that what will happen is maybe Vine will follow her, whatever she decides. I feel like that could be a good thing. I feel like that would be kind of nice. But yeah. We got a new problem. And then I like how Mara's like, that wasn't us, right? And so I thought that was really good. Then we can tell him in person. Looks away.
It's
that was great.
I just love how. What's nice about the Aesops is that they really represent being in like a middleman, basically, about being thrown around to different people's agendas. I really enjoy that. I enjoy how chaotic their life is, that they keep on like, oh, we have to bomb a well. Nope, someone else did it. Okay, we're coming back. Oh, now we have to murder my sister. Oh, now we have to be like an accessory to genocide. Yeah. Like, it's just they're being thrown around so much, and they've had so many different
I agree.
I like how that wears down on them a bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that is very true. Oh, anyway, sorry. I'll just read it. Arnold said that my braid looks cute, and he messaged me. And
flirting with your goddamn boyfriend.
I thought it was important.
We're on the clock.
Because I was like, oh, if Arnold's messaging me and he knows that I'm recording, like, it must be, like, important. Like, it must be, like, my Twitter's been hacked. Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, something's burning down somewhere, but he was just like, Hunter looks cute. Hunter looks great.
I got my hair cut. You could mention that, Arnold.
The chat said that you look nice.
Yeah, but did Arnold mention it? No, he didn't.
But yeah, the chat thought your haircut is
I guess
great.
he doesn't love me then.
Anyway, let's talk about this. Okay?
I was shook by this.
It was so good. Oh my god. I feel like, again, best monologue category, we're doing it. Like, this is definitely, like, a contender, and I feel
like the two contenders are the, like, I feel like
Ironwood
two different times.
I feel like there's gonna be more,
one.
though. Didn't Ruby have a speech? She had the speech to the world.
Yes, she did.
She had a speech, okay? There you go. And so I really like this. The plan hasn't changed. I'm gonna rip the maiden powers out of Penny Valentina. I really like that. I like the. Oh, sorry, you guys couldn't see my hand. I like that. I really like that. I thought that was good. But otherwise, I feel like that this scene was just so good. Like, it was so good. Her arm placement, just how she walks, even how, like, Watts is standing there, right? There's everything. This scene is everything. This scene did so much for Cinder's character. This scene saved Cinder's character, dare I say. Okay?
I don't know if I was already a Cinder stan. We all know this.
This scene rescued Cinder, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I'm not saying that Cinder was, like, that bad or anything. I'm just saying that this is one of the best Cinder scenes that Cinder has had in a very long time. It was perfect.
It's one of the most revealing. I feel like Jessica Negri gets a lot of not hate, but maybe flack
for her
voice acting, because her Cinder voice has been kind of the same over the course, but she still does a very good job of it.
I think that her Cinder voice has gotten better, in my opinion.
I think
it's gotten really good.
Yeah, I think there has been an improvement, but especially in this season and just recently in general, I really have enjoyed Cinder's voice and Cinder's voice acting.
Like, I do understand the criticism. Like, I think that it was definitely a thing. Like, I feel like that, maybe her voice acting earlier on, like in volume 5 more so, I feel like that's where people were complaining, right? And maybe a little bit earlier.
I feel like it's just subtle, because, like, in the beginning, it's like she just sounds very like mwahaha, but it works because as a character she's very mwahaha, but now she sounds a little more manic. Yeah. And it works a little better for her character. And it's subtle, but it's there, and I really like it. I think also,
her volume 7 voice acting, it was amazing. Like, it was literally so good.
Even like what happened in 6, she was quite good. She was more like downtrodden. She's a little more, I think that her voice acting is a lot more complex than I
Yeah.
think people give her credit for. And
I
also,
agree. I think
Watts,
Hunter's right.
I've barely, like, I don't think I've ever commented on
Oh, I love
Watts'
Watts.
voice actor.
Watts is
He's done an
fucking
amazing
great.
job, especially here.
Watts
and
is the
everything,
goat.
how they animate him, his, like, change and character.
So I like this.
beautiful.
You said that you have control over Penny. I said
But
I
I
have
have
Penny
Penny
under
under
control.
control.
Right? And so I feel like that this is really good though, because I think that with like Watts, a lot of people thought that he was like Watts ex machina. Watts is gonna hack Penny and be able to control her every move and her every word. And so I like that instead, all he did was give Penny the set of directives that Ironwood forced on him, which was bring Penny down to the vault, have her unlock the vault, and then have her self-terminate. And actually, the other day, somebody left me a comment, like yesterday, and they were like, but why does Ironwood want Penny to self-terminate if Penny is Ironwood's only hope? And I said two things. One, Penny is not his only hope. It's the relic that is his only hope, right? And I feel like that's a very interesting distinction because as soon as Penny opens the vault, Ironwood, much like Salem, does not need the maiden anymore. And so that's one. But the second thing is that I think that the self-terminate thing was put in specifically because he recognizes that outside of Penny being hacked, which is not a long-term solution because, again, it seems like that you can't control her every will. You would have to write a new virus for each specific action, and that's taxing. I feel like what Ironwood did was he put in the self-terminate clause, or, what do you call it? The self-terminate directive. Yes, exactly. The self-terminate directive in order to make sure that Winter would be down there in order to take Penny's powers so it could be back to somebody that you could control, right? Because I feel like that his mindset is, it's almost ironic that he cannot control the robot, that he can control the people better than the robot, right?
And he mentions that for some reason her programming is fighting back, and I think the implication there is that Penny has a soul, and that's what's fighting back.
And so I think that, I think that he says something interesting about the mechanical body, and we'll get to that, but basically what I'm saying is that Ironwood did this on purpose. He wants Penny to self-terminate so he can give somebody else the maiden powers, and I think originally that was supposed to be Winter. That Winter was supposed to be down there, she was supposed to be, waiting, right? Penny would go in, get the relic, self-terminate, and Winter would get the powers. Finally, someone I can control, someone I trust absolutely. But now, he's lost Winter. So how that plays into everything, it may be a case of, I don't even care if I have the maiden powers anymore, if the vault is open, or, like, what if, like, Hare is suddenly gunning for the maiden powers? Lots of interesting stuff here. First time watcher here. Well, thank you, Nightblade. That's very nice of you. I hope that we're entertaining you guys today, even though I feel like my brain is going at a mile a minute, but simultaneously the slowest that it's ever been.
I also really enjoy, I feel like in this situation, I'm Cinder and you're Watts and you're explaining to me tech stuff. Like, no, Hunter, like, you can't, to edit the video, you need the editing file. You can't have the MP4. It's different. You need to work. It's just that explaining down to someone who doesn't get technology as well as you.
Or even like, oh God, what was it? Like, Hunter, you need to change the timeline frame rate. And then Hunter, okay, so let's just go back, okay? Do you guys remember the Neo video that I posted a couple days ago? I think like Thursday. So Hunter was supposed to edit that Neo video, and Hunter technically did edit the Neo video. But
I did.
Okay, for first of all, Hunter edited the Emerald and Hazel video after, like, 3 days after I had already posted it. So I don't know what happened there. That was the first thing that happened. After that, Hunter was editing the Neo and a Neo video. That was it. It was just Neo. I don't know what I'm saying. Hunter was editing the Neo video, right? It brings the Neo video over to me. I think that it's fine at first, but then I rewatch it and I realize that the timeline frame rate is out of sync. So that basically Hunter did not set the timeline, so the FPS amount matched on both the video and his Photoshop timeline file situation, if that makes sense, right? And so basically the timeline was not in sync with the video formatting, and so I was like, okay, well that's an easy fix, Hunter. All you have to do is go into whatever iMovie and change the
But I was editing with a terrible
FPS.
software, so I don't even think I could have changed that if I had.
You probably could have. But then Hunter's like, but how do I do that? All I have is the MP4. And I'm like, Hunter, what do you mean all you have is the MP4? Where's the editing file? file, you can't change it now because it's already desynced. You need the editing file. You have to go into the timeline and re-export it. And Hunter's like, I deleted the editing file, and I'm there, and I'm just like, why?
In my defense,
and
my
Hunter
laptop
said it was taking up
couldn't
space
take
or
it.
whatever, but like, I don't know what was going on with that, but like the Photoshop or like the Adobe files should not be like that large that it would ruin all of the computer space, so I don't know what happened. So yeah, that's what happened
So
with
this
that.
is what it's like.
So
I feel like you are watching like, no, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
This is not how it's done.
And so I like this. I can't telenetically force her to do whatever I want, right? So again, that's probably why Ironwood just wants to self-terminate her. It's not worth the trouble to give her a directive a bunch of times. It's okay, we all screw up. Yeah, it's okay. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Obviously, the video got out. I edited it.
He's like
It was
explaining
fine.
to Cinder something that he thinks makes perfect sense
But
to
I was
him.
just like...
But maybe
it was
needs
just
an
very
explanation.
sad. It was just very unfortunate. I just felt bad. Especially because, like, okay, so again, going back a little bit, somebody had asked me and they were like, why can't Hunter do some of the editing? Like, if you're overwhelmed, like, why do you need to hire an editor? Why doesn't Hunter just help? And I just I was like, well, Hunter's a little technologically challenged, but
I don't think
we
I'm
can
that
try.
technologically
But
challenged.
now I'm sitting here and I'm like, the prophecy came into being.
Listen, I'm gonna blame
No
iMovie
Hunter
for
slander.
that one.
Yeah, I'm not actually upset. I just think it's a very funny story that like I'll tell my grandkids about your involvement in the YouTube channel. It'll be
Okay.
like Hunter was
Before
comedy gold. Like Hunter was the star. Everyone loved Hunter. But in terms of the administrative stuff, Hunter did not do that well.
That's fair.
That'll be the story.
That's fair.
That Hunter is like the one like everyone loves, the
Dominic,
the
it
pinnacle
does
of
feel
comedy.
like the why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Anyways.
I implanted a virus in her, you dimwits. She's on a Ceph Pat now. At least she should be. As much as I hate to admit it, there seems to be a part of her capable of resisting. So I really liked this. I thought that this was really, really nice. And so I thought that, like, because Watts is even doubting himself. He's not so arrogant that he thinks that there is no possible way that his plan basically failed. That's how I sort of see it. And so I think that when you think about it that way, right, he's doubting himself. He's showing a level of self-reflection that Cinder is not yet capable of, I would dare say. Because he says, like, I hate to admit it, but, right? And so I feel like that's
not,
valid,
I don't
right?
know if he's arrogant so much as he's genuinely
I
out
think
for
he
revenge.
used to be arrogant,
Maybe.
though. Right? And so this is him having a humble moment of that, hey, my technology may not be foolproof. I thought that that was a really good moment for him, right? Before her mechanical
He's a little more
body
complex
succumbs.
than just like, they never understood my brains.
Exactly.
Because if he's able to criticize himself.
Exactly. He's able to criticize himself.
So I think
right?
that there's more layers to watch than maybe we've seen so far.
I think that's great. I think that that's really great. She'll open the vault and then she'll destroy herself, right? And so, look at this. I love that. Oh, I took the perfect screenshot. I really like this. How am I supposed to take her power if she's dead? And I don't know what it is, but like, does Cinder have a sort of Zuko-y voice to you? Sometimes, like, you know that same texture that the Zuko voice actor has?
A little rough.
Like, rough. I feel like that roughness really came through here, and I thought that that was really, really good, and I like this. I love that when she's just, like, holding Watts in the air, right? Watts has a certain level of emotional intelligence that Cinder lacks. Yes, I think that that's a very good analysis of Watts. And I feel like they were really being set up as some sort of foil, right? Like, I had this whole thing of like, oh, like, Jean and Cinder are foils, and like, Neo and Ruby are foils, or Neo and Jean are foils. Like, I had this whole thing of like who I thought was a foil to who, but I think that first of all, multiple characters can be related to the villains. It's not just it doesn't just need to be one. But at the same time, I feel like the villains also relate to the villains to some extent, especially when you have villains of different, I guess, tiers. I guess, right? Like you have like Salem's 4, and then you have Emerald and Mercury and Hazel and everything. And so I feel like that with Tyrion, I feel like that Tyrion and Mercury may have a bit of a parallel, because Tyrion was obviously a killer. Mercury was trained to be a killer, but you can see the differences between Mercury and Tyrion, how different they are. Right? And so I feel like the same could apply to Watson and Cinder as well, is that they were both wronged in a sense, right? They both suffered, they were both like underappreciated and maybe like even abused in like some cases, right?
Like, but like where Watts maybe doesn't feel like he's deserving of things.
Yeah, or rather like Watts thinks that he's worthy of things because he has like put in the work, I guess. Right, and I feel like that what he says is like
he's more than just revenge.
Right there. Yeah, he's more than just revenge. Exactly. I think that that's a good thing is that they both want revenge. They both were mistreated by like the Atlas elite. It was just in Ironwood's case Ironwood. In Watts' case it was Ironwood. In Cinder's case it was her family. Right. And so I feel like that now, though, they deviated where they both want revenge, and Cinder wants that by becoming more powerful, Watts wants that by fucking with Ironwood, but Watts has done it in a more effective way for a reason, and I really like that, right? You can't just threaten me like everyone else. I think that that was so great, and I like this because I feel like that he does get scared. Like in a moment, and I like how her shoes click on the cement, right? Salem sent you to bring me back. Salem isn't here right now. I really like that. I thought that was really, really good. And I do like that he starts to feel fear here. Yeah. I think that he does genuinely get a little afraid, and maybe a bit more afraid than we've seen in vivo for it. And he's like looking away, he's like looking down, and he's
holding
like,
on for dear life.
I feel like that at first he thought she won't do it, but now he's thinking, no, she'll do it, right? And I like, again, the boots. I think this was really nice as a shot. First, I'm going to watch you plummet to an unremarkable end. I like that, right? Because
I really thought this man was going to die in this episode.
Yes, there's that. But I also feel like the unremarkable end thing is actually very important, because what does Watts hate more than anything? Think about it. Like, what does Watts hate? It's the fact that he didn't get...
Maybe. No. Didn't get recognition?
Yeah, recognition. Like, what does Watts hate so much is that he was seen as more unremarkable than Pietro, right? That he wanted to sort of... I feel like that he wanted to live this legacy where he was this famous scientist, and it was this whole big thing, right? And so I feel like that when you think about it, like, what does Watts hate so much? The idea of him not being special, of him not being unremarkable, right? And so I feel like that is the worst thing that Watts could be, is unremarkable, right? Have you ever seen those Harry Potter quizzes where it's like, oh, like, what would you, like, want to be remembered as? Would you want to be remembered at, like, as feared or powerful or, you know, like, heroic, right? Like, it's in the Pottermore quiz, and so I feel like that it's like that, right? Like, what would you hate being more than anything else? And unremarkable is one of the answers. It's like unremarkable, seen as a coward, like certain things like that. And so I feel like that for Watts, it's definitely unremarkable. I feel like that's what he would hate most, right? I really like this. I feel like that this is a really good scene, too, just because, like, she's just, I don't know, she's just, like, exerting so much power over him, even though, like, he's, like, taller than her, obviously, because she's holding him up, right?
She's just very threatening in this.
Yeah, she's very threatening, and I think, like, the height difference almost helps with that, but it also, in this shot, illustrates that there's a giant model difference between the male and the female characters that is sort of, like, grown a little bit, like, with each volume, right? Like, Cinder has this massive head, and Watts' head is just like,
I guess it's kind of like head shape. I feel like Oscar has a very round head.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why, I think with Oscar, it was more like because he's supposed to be, like, little, I guess, right? But yeah, like, I don't know, I just noticed that, is that obviously they're all in the same art style, but you can see, like, the real difference in, like, the, like, I guess how they were designing characters before, and then how they chose to design, like, some of the men and, like, their head shapes and stuff. I don't know, it was just a thought. But yeah, and so now he's realizing that she's, like, serious, and I feel like this is really good. I love this face. What a great face. It was a beautiful face. But I like this, because then
really
Watts starts laughing, and her eyebrows go up. The flames burst out, right? And he basically, like, he's still holding on. Of course you are, because that's just what you do. And then he decides, look at him. He's deciding right here that he is going to grill her and read her to absolute
It's almost like
filth.
he's accepted that he's gonna die, so he's not even, like, he's just gonna, like, chew her out. He even at one point let go of her arm.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right?
Just
like,
to gesticulate better at her.
He's making a decision. See how the expression expression changes on his face. He's making a choice. He's finally decided, if I'm gonna die, I'm just gonna say it, and he lets go, and I love that. I think that's such a big moment for his character that may be, like, unnoticed or underrated, but the facial expression change, you can just see it. You can see how he's, like, he's sort of scared, he's backing away, and then he decides, and then he lets go, and I feel like that's really, really good. And how has that worked out for you? You storm into Freya's room thinking you can take on Ironwood's top fighter in War Machine, but you couldn't. And I feel like that it's interesting how, first of all, the scenes are in red. I think that was good. They have a red tint, but doesn't it also seem like there's a focus on the grim half of herself?
Yes.
In these scenes? Because you see that, first of all, right, her arm, like, you know, fighting against her, I guess.
And when that happens, you get this really shrill musical note that worked really well.
The music was really good. And then, let's not forget the deal with Raven Branwen. Woo! We got one, guys. I feel like they are building up to Raven coming back.
I think so.
I think that this mention is kind of like the Summer Rose mentions, like, that we've had throughout. Like, I feel like it's definitely building to that. And maybe, like, there will be some sort of rematch. Not in this volume, but maybe in, like, volume 9 or something between Cinder and Raven, right? Because here, like, look at it. Again, it's, I guess it's just her falling, but there's kind of a focus on her grim arm.
And maybe also her eye, that's...
Yeah, and, like, the eye, right? Like, I feel like that there's a big focus on her injuries, like, throughout these scenes, right? So you'd have a shot at revenge. If only someone could have warned you against such a miserable idea. This is where he ramps up with the voice acting. Like, this is like 0 to 100 real quick. I love this. I love this facial expression, right? You pushed ahead and you lost it when all you had to do was your job. And I love that. And look at her swirling.
I was so convinced that this man was gonna die.
Look at how emotional this is. It's like when Freya does the vortex and how Penny does the vortex when she feels out of control and she feels emotional. She does that vortex. I feel like that it's the same thing with Cinder right here. So I really like that. That's sort of mimicking or like basically the same thing that they did. Like it's sort of calling back to Freya and Penny. You think you're entitled to everything because you've suffered, but suffering isn't enough, right? And so
I don't know if necessarily
this scene doesn't fit in with the grim
right about the grim idea.
Theory. They're focusing on her failures.
Yeah,
I think that's true. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say this is a failure though. This is just something that
the
happened.
Things that bother her, or what she perceives as failures for her.
Probably, yeah.
Are difficult
You
moments.
can't just be strong. You have to be smart. I think that that's true, and I feel like that this is Watts also talking about himself. Right? That yes, like probably to some extent that Watts like suffered, but suffering wasn't enough. And so I think that Watts' thing is that he knowingly decided never to unlock his semblance because he wanted to prove that intelligence was enough. Right? And so I feel like that in this specific scene, like he is talking about himself and that they have so much more of a connection than maybe we originally realized, like I already mentioned before. Right? And I like that. You can't just be worthy, you can't just be deserving, you have to be worthy. And I feel like that's a good distinction too, because Watts thought that he deserved Ironwood's recognition and for Ironwood to, you know, do the program and stuff. But like, he wasn't chosen, so how does that happen when you deserved it? It's about like being worthy, and I feel like that was really, really good. And so I love that. I just love how he is putting on like what happened to him and applying it to her. I think that's what he's doing. I kind of like this, the bloody migraine thing. That kind of like, you know, I don't know, it kind of puts a comedic element to it a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like he thinks he's gonna die, so he wants to insult her as much as humanly possible.
And so like at first he's, you know, giving her a reality check. Now he's just being mean. Tell me that because of the lighting on his nose, Watts doesn't look like he's like a badger or something, or like the Lorax, like just with the little, like, you know those little cat noses where the nose is darker. The mustache for some reason.
Oh,
like,
now I watch it.
Disney animals.
He looks like he has a dog nose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean?
Kyle,
like,
is your furriness
Disney
coming
characters that have like a mustache, but they're like goofy, like they're the anthropomorphic ones, and so that's what it reminds me. And so just like little nose.
Alternatively, maybe he never wanted to like drop knowledge and just insult her, but it ended up
turning into that, right?
Turning into that, or being interpreted as that.
Yeah.
By Cinder.
And so then he's safe, and I'm very surprised. But I feel like that she needed to hear that. Nobody's ever stood up to her. Not Emerald, not Mercury. Even Salem was just like, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I wronged you, right? And so nobody has ever wanted Cinder to take responsibility, or they wanted to, but nobody ever said so. Even Salem, because for her purposes of manipulation, being truthful to Cinder does not help, and said, it's, oh, Cinder, it's my fault, right? And so she's realizing, I think for almost the very first time, that everything Watts is saying is true, and that nobody has been honest with her before. And so I feel like that was really good, and I like to see how her face drops right here, and she just, I don't know what she was doing, but she just goes and she goes to sit like they're on the Kingdom Hearts clock tower or something. She's just sitting on the edge. I don't know. I wonder, was this supposed to be like a suicide-y moment? I guess we already mentioned suicide.
I think it's just
this video is already gonna get demonetized. It's whatever. Guys, did you miss us? In the 3 seconds, the bad thing happened again. It's basically like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to fix it, but like our OBS, like it keeps saying that there's something wrong with the encoding, but there shouldn't be, because my computer is like a supercomputer, so I don't know what happened. But yeah, okay, y'all are back. Yeah, we're right here, we're fine. But yeah, like I think it's because we're opening this photo thing, and for some reason, like when I do that, like it fucks up for some reason. Like whenever we're recording and playing a video or a picture at the same time, for some reason weird stuff happens. But yeah, I don't know if it was supposed to be like her wanting to like sit on the edge or anything, but
I think it's more just like her contemplating, and I think for framing wise, it looks better to have her sit on the edge of the building with Watts in the background looking at her confused than if she were to walk and like brood by whatever those boxes are, like those AC units.
And I like seeing her cry because I feel like that this is just such a human emotion that we haven't really seen a lot. And I feel like that this is just, I don't know, like I
just want to hug her.
I feel like that most people probably aren't like me, but I see this face and I just immediately want to hug her. Like I feel so bad for her, and I just want to protect her. And I feel like that RWBY's really good at doing that with character designs. Like making it so, so they're just so like lovable, I guess. Like I think again with Neo's a really good example, like just making like you really connect with the character emotions. I know that probably most critics won't give a shit that she's crying or whatever, but like I feel like that on like the emotional level, I personally really connect with seeing her cry. Like I think that for a lot of people that don't like Cinder, if they still have maybe a high level of empathy, I don't know, like I feel like that
more with the moment.
Yeah, I connect with the moment too. Like when I see characters cry, I get sad. It doesn't matter if they're a bad guy or not, right? And so I feel like that applies here too, is that you just see the expression on her face and you feel really bad for her.
But I also love that this is a moment of her just accepting that she's been wronged, and the route that she has gone on has not brought her any comfort with it.
RWBY is good at humanizing, yes, exactly. But now, I guess my question is, Hunter, like, we were sort of flip-flopping on whether or not, like, Cinder would be redeemed.
Oh, you flip-flopped.
Okay.
I was always team
Like, do you guys think that now,
Cinder redemption.
like, there could be redemption for Cinder, right?
I think that.
Or do you think that this will only cement her resolve for her to be smart like Watts?
I don't know, because I think what might end up happening, what we see later with her interactions with Penny, is what I suspect is that she will end up betraying Penny and just not wanting to be involved anymore.
What do you mean?
It's like she won't want to go after RWBY anymore. She won't want to get the relic from Neo.
So what will she do?
Or like, I think she'll still try to do it, but eventually she'll fail or something else happens and she just feels like this even more overwhelming feeling that doing what she's doing is helping Salem has not brought her happiness, or not brought her a feeling of, I don't know what else you would use, I guess, a sense of control over her life.
I don't know. It's interesting.
That's an idea.
Because I could see this two ways. Like, she realizes that this is not great, that this is not a great thing to do, right? And so she wants to, like, when she has an out, like, if she has an out with Emerald, maybe she would take it. But I actually don't think that's where they're going, Hunter. I think instead she will just become a better villain. I think that she'll just be smarter. It reminds me of that scene between Ty Yang and Yang, where Yang was, like, I don't remember what Tai said. Tai said something like, oh, did you lose some brain cells along with that arm? And, like, that whole thing about how Yang just dives into danger and doesn't use her brain. I feel like that was a very similar scene to what we are seeing right now, and what did that do? That made Yang better, right? That made Yang smarter in a sense. That made Yang act smarter. So I think that if anything, she will just be a better villain instead of turning to be a hero, right? She may like learn something from Watts that she didn't learn from Salem. Yeah, as opposed to Salem, she'll fight for herself. Yeah, that's a theory that we've had for a while, that she'll be kind of like an anti-hero type thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Cinder, like, it's kind of hard. Like, you guys are like, oh, she lost redemption as soon as she killed Pyrrha. And I get it, but at the same time,
I'm not saying everyone needs to love her. Yeah. I'm just saying I think she might not want to be. I mean, we touch on that in this episode, right? Yeah, I think like, she just doesn't want to be with Salem anymore. You know?
Right, we talk about that in the episode, but I think that the thing with Cinder is, like, I do understand what people mean by saying, like, oh yeah, she lost any chance of redemption when she killed Pyrrha, but at the same time, like, Cinder, in a sense, she's not a kid, necessarily, right? She's not Team RWBY's age, but, like, when you see her compared to the villains, and you see Emerald compared to the villains, I do kind of feel like that she's a kid, and so I feel like that, to some extent, can you really, like, I don't know, there's a point where it's like, can you blame a brainwashed kid for acting this way? Like, I feel like that's a very big thing, like, in other shows, like Attack on Titan, and stuff like that, where you have, like, the child soldier situation. Like, that's sort of how I see it, is, like, with Emerald and Mercury, did they do bad things? Yes, but they're sort of around Team RWBY's age, where they are, like, easily manipulated, and they sort of, like, fell into that, and then couldn't get out because of, like, a system that failed Mercury and Emerald. Like, Mercury with his abusive father, and then Emerald with her being on the street. And so I think that Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury are at a different level than the adult villains, is basically what I'm saying. Maybe. Yes, Catra, I think, is a good example, right? And so I feel like that, oh my god, overcoding overload, please don't break on us, OBS, please stay, please stay. But yeah, like, Emerald technically killed Penny, yeah, that's true too. But yeah, like, I just feel like there's a difference between Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury to Tyrion or something. Yeah. Like, Tyrion loves to kill people, okay? Tyrion cannot be redeemed. He's a serial killer. He chose to kill people, right? In his adult life, right? Like, and, you know, we don't even know why. He just seems to enjoy it, right? And you can say, like, oh yeah, there's something fucked up about Tyrion that led him to be like that, but there becomes a certain point where it's like, okay, but you're like a 40-year-old serial killer, right? Like, your opportunity to change, right, is kind of like, right? Yeah. Especially when Tyrion enjoys to do it, right? And then you have Watts, where he has sort of accepted being the bad guy, right? I feel like there's no redemption for Watts, because Watts doesn't care. Like, Watts is fine with all of this, right? And so I feel like that's the difference. That's a distinct difference, is that the adults, like Watts and Tyrion, they're fine with this, right? Yeah. They're fine with what's happening. I don't even know if Watts is fine with the end of the world, but they're fine, right, with this, right? Hazel was able to change because he was never fine with it in the first place, and he changed upon receiving new information, and then after that he atoned through death, right? And so yeah.
I don't know. I think that we're definitely going somewhere with Cinder. Yeah. That she's not like a static character.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be really interesting.
And I also don't know if it's gonna be like I think Emerald redemption might be guaranteed by the end of this volume. I don't know about Cinder's redemption.
But yeah, I think that Watts will inadvertently make her a better villain. I think that that's what's going to happen there. Thank you guys for almost like 6,000 of you, by the way. At least on our end, I don't know. So yeah, we're only halfway through the episode. Oh my god. Okay. I really like this. I love Blake finally getting a hold of it. Look at her. Look at how her facial expression changes. I love that. I thought that this was so cute. So I thought that was really nice. Okay, so yeah, so that was nice. That they were saying they're fine. They're talking to Blake on the phone.
I'm okay. I've inhaled a lot of grim dust, but haven't we all?
Yeah. This will help though. Yeah, so yeah, they're talking on the phone. You can even hear, like, obviously we're just using screenshots. You can hear RWBY being like like, I don't know what RWBY says exactly, but she's just talking to Yang through the phone. Yeah. We do think that Neo could probably ask the question, guys. Like, even though she's she's mute, do you think that Jin is gonna, like, discriminate against her? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure that there's a way, like, we talked about it. There's telepathy, there's sign language, there's getting your phone to do text-to-speech, right? Like, we know that Remnant has, like, disability accommodations in the scrolls, and so I feel like that it wouldn't be a stretch if she did want to ask her question, but we already talked about that last week. But yeah, so here's, like, I really like this scene, but I do wonder about Hazel, and you see how much she did care about him, and I think that this is actually tears, not just, like, the reflection off of her eyes, and so I feel like that was really, really good. I feel like that was good.
Because when you realize, like, Hazel has been, like, a rock for her ever since she returned to Salem.
Exactly.
After Salem.
Hazel was kind of like her dad, you know? Like her...
And now
like,
Dad got turned to ash.
Her dad figure, and so I'm a little sad about that, but yeah. What were we saying? I think that it's interesting how she turns back because she hears like Weiss's voice and she hears them just continuing on like nothing happened. But like for her, I guess, I mean, they didn't have that much of a connection to Hazel, right? And so they just keep going on. Or it could even be like maybe Emerald looks at them and she's thinking about like how they all are still like this tight unit, whereas maybe like Emerald's support system has been torn apart, like Mercury's gone, Hazel's dead, question mark, Hazel's dead, I don't know.
Hazel's probably dead.
You want us to work with her, and I really like this. I'm just saying it makes the most sense. We're all enemies of Salem, including her, right? And so I feel like, again, this is enemies of Salem, right? And so it's like the enemy of my enemy is my temporary friend. And that's what we thought where Cinder could be in this sort of like third party area where she's like, I can't be the most powerful person in the world if if Salem's still around. So if Salem's still around, I'll kill her with you guys and then I'll take her powers and then you'll have to kill me, right? So I feel like that we could get that route with Cinder for sure. I like this. I'm with Blondie. You don't like me, I don't like you. I like her nickname for her. I think that was kind of nice. I think that
Blondie. Who else called her Blondie?
I don't know. I don't remember. Mercury, probably.
I guess it was Mercury.
I think it was Mercury.
Yeah.
I think that this was kind of nice. I really
but I don't know if I necessarily buy Emerald's little statement here that she doesn't want to be with them, because at any point here...
She's just a tsundere, right?
Yeah, I think she could use her semblance and then sneak out of there.
Yeah, she could have,
right? But she didn't, so I'm thinking that,
5 minds would kind of be hard, but it wouldn't be impossible, right? So.
Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, I mean, she has been working on her semblance a little more.
Yeah, exactly, right? So we hear that. So I definitely, it was Mercury, yeah. I definitely think that she wants to be with them. I think that your analysis is right, Hunter, because she would have, like, gotten out of Dodge if she didn't to some extent. Junior? Okay. I don't remember that. But yeah, Mercury for sure.
Yeah, no, Junior definitely. I think Junior did.
The dude from her trailer? Yeah.
The dude from her trailer, and also he shows up in Volume 2.
Yes. Yeah, there isn't gonna be a next time, Blondie. We'll see about that, Mercury, now that we're all here. That's funny. If she could help us, I think we should consider it. I love how they're debating this right in front of her, right? She's part of the reason I have this. And I'm like, yes, but that was more a white thing.
Yeah.
Like, Adam doing that had nothing to do with the fall of Beacon. That was because of, like, Blake's plot.
Emerald was shown to never have been crazy happy about that.
Anyway, I don't think Yang should necessarily blame her for the arm, because if Adam had shown up but not have been, obsessed with Blake, I don't think the arm thing would have necessarily happened. Right?
But she is partial. Like, she helped organize
She helped organize the fall of Beacon, but...
So I think she's part of the reason. That's accurate.
I'm just saying that Emerald was not responsible for Adam's behavior, is basically what I'm saying.
Sure.
You know? I don't know.
But it's reasonable for Yang to be a little upset.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she's talking about not necessarily the arm, but she's talking about Beacon as a whole. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Causing the panic and the chaos, right? All of that stuff. I'm not just gonna forgive her, right? Everything that happened at Beacon, she lied, she tricked us, and I feel like that was, like, good. Like, that was a good scene for her to say, because then they sort of fire back at that, because I feel like that's what the audience is thinking. Like, a lot of you guys are like, Emerald caused Pyrrha to die. It's always Pyrrha. Everyone's always mad, not for the thousands of people that have died at Beacon, okay, or the hundreds or whatever. It's always just because of what happened to Pyrrha. But anyway, right? But yeah, I wonder about these petals. So Hunter and I looked up a mood ring, okay? Not very scientific or anything, but we have a couple ideas for the petal colors. One, guilt, Okay?
Yeah.
Seems reasonable, alright? We also changed our mind about green, and we think that green means alertness because we saw that on like a color chart website, like a mood ring type website, that green could be alert, and that would make a lot of sense with what Vine had the green around him, and Winter had the green around her, right? So I feel like the guilt is like around, right? And yeah, you guys are also saying romantic, so that's option 2. So option 1 is guilt. Option 2 to me is her devotion to Cinder, and that's what she's thinking about right now. I don't think that it would be gloom because we already had the sadness color, and that was, I'm pretty sure, blue. And then frustration, I think, was supposed to be yellow and orange and stuff.
I think guilt work. I also enjoys how, like, when they show some members of the Aesops, their petals are moving very quickly, which implies very aggressive emotions, whereas hers are very slow, which implies like a kind of like.
But her petals actually remind me of Ren's, like when Ren looks at himself and his love for Nora, right? So I feel like that it could be fear, I guess, but yeah, I think guilt, and then possibly also like her love for Cinder, I think, or her devotion to Cinder, because I feel like devotion and love are two very different things. I feel like that Ren loves Nora, Emerald is devoted to Cinder, so I feel like that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I would like to see like color confirmation.
Maybe confusion, maybe betrayal. I feel like
I don't know. I don't want it to get too complex though.
Part of me wonders
every fucking feeling that you've ever had.
Part of me wonders if it's not meant to be like a mood ring 1-to-1, and we're meant to more just kind of get the abstract idea of this is what Ren is able to get from this. Like it's an abstract representation, or it's a physical representation of an abstract feeling that Ren gets when he looks at people. He's able to understand their emotions.
I don't want this to turn into like betrayal's a color and like I don't know, like I can't think of anything else. Betrayal's a color and gloom is a color, and gloom is different to sadness, and loneliness is different to sadness. Like I think that we need like maximum 7 or 10 colors, and we just cycle through these colors because this is gonna get fucking confusing, okay? And so I feel like what is the difference between mourning and sad? Like obviously there's a difference in terms of life, right? If you're feeling that in real life, but in terms of the semblance, if we get a color for everything, we're gonna be going fucking crazy. Like how many colors, right? How many colors feasibly exist, right? You got some red, orange, yellow, teal, blue, purple, pink. Did I say that? I don't remember. Like, you know what I mean?
Brown,
like, we can't. I refuse.
That's why I kind of like the more abstract
thing.
I don't know. I just get the feeling that she's like upset and she's confused and she doesn't know what she's gonna do next.
Yeah, it's very similar to what Ren had too.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that they should confirm which colors are which, and I think they should only stick to like a good 7 or something. But yeah, I think like guilt I think is a good one, and then I think like her devotion to Cinder is also a good guess. And I feel like those things aren't necessarily separate, are they? Right? Like I don't think that her guilt is that different from her devotion to Cinder, because her devotion to Cinder is what caused her to do all the bad things, and she knows deep down that Cinder does not care about her, like Mercury had said. And so I feel like that she could feel guilty because all of the things she did to impress Cinder, like all of what was sacrificed in order to impress Cinder, it was really for nothing, right? When you think about it. Like Cinder still doesn't care. So yeah. People were talking about like Green Lantern colors, right?
Yeah, the more they get into all this color, the more
I know how many colors exist, guys. I get it. Like your eyes are able to perceive this many different shades, but I'm saying colors as a color, not colors in terms of there's like light red and dark red and like maroon red and like there's hot pink and there's Barbie pink and there's, you know, tutu pink and there's ballerina pink. Like shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that.
She was pink. She was sad. Bullshit. I was fuchsia and I was horny.
Exactly, right? I can't. But yeah.
Which is why I kind of like the more abstract idea, because then you get into less like nitpicky weird.
Anyway,
I don't know.
God. Help us out, Eddie. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so she lied to us, she tricked us, she's dangerous. Oh no, we can't fix that. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't realize that the captions are cut off. I'll fix that for next week. I guess I did something. I guess I did something because they are cut off. You don't have to forgive her. You have every reason to feel that way. Just maybe give her a second chance. And I feel like that's good, right? Because I feel like, yeah, people are saying they can't see the captions, but I'm like, did that suddenly happen? Like, could you guys see them before and now you can't? What did I do? I don't know what I did wrong. Oh, you know what I did wrong? I figured it out. There you go. Now you guys can see them. Yeah. I fucked it up when I did the when we had to restart the stream. I put it on full screen by mistake, but we have it on like just open. We just have it open. Anyway, okay. Yeah, so I feel like that's a good thing, right? Like that, just give her a second chance. You don't need to forgive her for what she did before, but let's see how she acts in the present. I feel like that's fine.
That she wants to change. That's reasonable.
I think that's reasonable. I agree, right? And I feel like that we'll probably get into that with other characters as well, with the help of someone we don't exactly trust right now, right? And at first I thought he meant Hazel, and I think that he was saying it vaguely enough that they could interpret it as Hazel, but instead, like, Ren was like, oh, you mean Ozpin? And so I feel like I
wonder if his like empath ability means he can
see what he's like.
Yeah, he can almost detect when other people's emotions.
I think he just had a feeling,
maybe
just a general feeling, you know. He wasn't exactly hiding it. We've seen Ozpin talk to himself. Yeah. Sorry. We've seen Oscar talk to himself. Yeah. Remember? Yeah, Remember when they're all on the bikes and he's just talking to himself, right? So I feel like that was really good. Can we replace Yang with Emerald? That's not nice.
I also love how Emerald doesn't really know a lot about the whole Ozpin thing, presumably. So she's just like, wait, there's two guys. There's an old man in that little boy's head. No one's pointing a gun at me anymore. I could
maybe
leave
she
if
doesn't
I
even know
to.
who, like, vaguely, like, who she knows vaguely who Ozpin is.
I guess so.
But she probably didn't know, like, to this deep extent. No, maybe she did know.
But I guess it's that, and then it's another thing to see it in person.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, like, no one's walking anymore, and no one's pointing guns at
Salem did tell them that, like, that Ozpin reincarnated, right? Like, we did know that. Didn't we?
I believe so.
I don't know if Emerald knew that, but anyway, like, this is still interesting. This is still very, very cool. And I like how she's listening, right? When we were tortured, he took it, right? And so I feel like that she's interested in hearing this because all she has heard is Salem talk smack about Ozpin, right? That Ozpin's terrible and he's a liar and, like, all of that stuff. So I feel like that in this case, it's probably interesting for Emerald because she has been fed so much anti-Ozpin propaganda, but now she's hearing this about how, like, he actually acted, and this account from Oscar is probably most likely true, right? So I feel like that was really nice. So he entrusted me with this and the massive amount of power he stored up in it, right? And so we already talked about this. We think that, like, the cane is just the magical staff from the old world and that it had this capability. It stored some power. It tossed it out. It bounced around.
It out.
It bounces around in the cane and, like, festers like a fine wine.
How many whacks of a cane would you have to have?
I don't think it's about wax, though. I think it's just about it being in there. It's like it's fermenting. It's like it's just in the basement, right? Like it's like, you know, it's like I think wine is a good example, to be honest.
It's like kimchi, but it will kick your ass.
Yes, and so I think that was really good. Not all, but most. We have to be careful about how we use the rest. And I feel like Emerald's listening to this and could possibly use that against them in the future.
Maybe
if she's not fully changing, or she could have an idea on how to use it in the future, maybe. I trust his judgment and he saved us. I want to reciprocate that trust. There's a lot to sort out, but Oz really wants to help. And I feel like that was really good.
Everyone there having mixed feelings about that.
Yeah. Oh, and they're like, oh, thank you, Oscar. The baby crying was so creepy because we were like, what the hell? And look at this. Look at how Yang is just like, not on my watch, right? And so she just, like, pushes up her. Like, it kind of looks like her...
Grabbing the butt. I'm
yeah,
not gonna
that
lie.
her hand is on Emerald's ass. But anyway, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure she's just running, but we can make a meme out of that, maybe. Like, so many people started shipping Emerald and Yang last episode for, like, their interaction, and
I feel like Yang or Emerald is an underrepresented character in RWBY shipping.
Yeah,
I feel like there should be more.
There is that. I don't know. Like, obviously, you can ship stuff that's not canon. I just find it kind of funny that in an episode that pushes so much, like, Bumblebee, there's also so many good, like, Emerald and Yang, like, moments for fanfic writers, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of funny. Like, I just think it's a funny thing. Obviously, you know what? Ship Emerald and Yang. Why not? Like, I don't care. Right? Like, I think that, like, most fun shipping is the non-canon shipping.
Yes.
In my opinion, right? But
Right.
I just think it's kind of a teehee sort of thing that there was so much Bumblebee stuff, but there's this like sexual tension between Yang and Emerald and how much they hate each other, right?
Yeah.
Like enemies to lovers. We love to see it. Wow, this background scene was so good. Like, good job to the background people.
Such a
I
big,
thought that was
diverse
really, really
group
nice.
of people. I love how when sort of noises go off in the background, everyone reacts. Like, the whole crowd reacts all at once.
And so you see, like, even some students that are probably like, fuck, right?
Some real traumatized children.
Yeah, like, look at this guy, right? Like, lots of families, lots of kids. I thought that this was really, really good. Like, I thought that seeing all
go
these
back
people...
in the other... That one girl kind of looks like Emerald.
I guess. I mean, hey, they like her hairstyle, bro. The Vital Festival set some
that
new fashion trends.
That would be like those people, like those teenagers on, like, Tumblr and whatnot that have, like, Ted Bundy... fandom vibes.
You're kinda right, though.
What if it's that, but it's like, oh, Cinder's like Mercury's so hot. Ooh.
Like, they didn't know. They just saw them as students. They didn't know.
Well,
that
no,
they
but
did the
but
bad
remember
things.
in Volume 6, they
that
see
was
like the
Mistral. We don't know
well,
if
maybe
Atlas did that.
It's my headcanon that
what if they already cut
like,
their hair like that because of the Vital Festival, right?
That must have been awkward.
After they found out that Emerald and Mercury were evil, it's not their fault. They already cut their hair.
Ooh,
that's not
like
nice.
That's like
you know
someone
I mean?
getting a Charlie Chaplin mustache right in 1938.
But yeah, so you
right when it gets
what
questionable.
Right?
It's like everyone was getting the Emerald hairstyle.
And so that's exactly like, what if like people got that haircut because they loved Emerald, they saw her on TV, they thought she was great, and then
ouch. Hate to see it.
I really enjoyed the implication that Emerald was relating to these people and seeing the impacts of Salem's work. I agree, because I feel like with this shot specifically, I feel like that this is reminding her of herself in Mercury.
Yeah.
I feel like that she really sees herself in these kids, and she, like, obviously...
Because there's so many talk about, like, everyone else's backstory. We really don't know much about Emerald, other than she was, like, all alone and homeless.
But that's why I feel like that resonates with her. She has sat on the floor before, you know? Like,
maybe even when she was as young as those kids.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
Don't know.
This is, like, natural for her. She remembers this.
Yeah.
Not natural, but, like...
Or she can relate to it.
She can relate. It's relatable to her. Yeah, exactly. Right? I've seen what you can do, Emerald. However this fight ends, we could really use someone like you. That's so nice. I didn't catch that. Did you? I
think
remember.
I did, yeah.
Who said that?
That's Ozpin, or Oscar, rather.
Aw.
No, I like it, and I think that's foreshadowing to an idea we have of how Emerald can help save the day. That's probably going to be a video we film tomorrow. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited for Emerald. I love her. I love my sweet baby. My sweet girl.
Yeah, so this scene with Ironwood was really good. You just see him like he's just mashing buttons.
Running around.
Like his hair out of place, because I feel like that was really good. Like, to see like what it represents.
You know, this is a weird. You know whose his haircut kind of reminds me of?
No, don't do it, Hunter. If it's bad.
Do you know?
No,
who
I don't. But I'm just saying.
No, he kind of reminds me of like Justin Trudeau.
Anyways.
Because but if his hair was longer, right? The puff is in the same place. Like, gray in the same place, beard. Am I lying? I'm not lying. It kind of looks like him, right?
Anyways.
That's definitely not commentary of an American show with an entirely American writing style.
It's just a coincidence.
It's a coincidence.
All old white men look like that, okay?
They're not that old. They're probably around the same age.
Anyway, yeah, I was just like, where's Hunter going with this? Are we gonna have to...
You're really concerned. Okay, be honest with me. Who do you think I was gonna say this man
I
looked
don't
like?
know. Like, I didn't know. Like, I genuinely have absolutely no idea. I just was worried. While we dealt a decisive blow to Salem today, and then they're like, right, actually that wasn't our payload, sir. I brought it back with us, right? And so he's like, oh, okay. And so I think that he realizes it. He probably realized that. He probably doesn't even care. He's just like, however it happened,
News
whatever.
footage, most views. Is that his Twitter account?
Oh, wow.
That looks like you. Are you checking your tweets?
It says Alice information. Grim Whale, Leviathan class. Okay.
There's a photo. Okay.
So yeah, it's a photo of the Grim exploding. Okay.
So I like the Leviathan wasn't a particular. like
Well,
wasn't a particular
Leviathan
name.
class-
It was just a, like if it's big enough, it's a Leviathan.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's just the categorization. Like you have Ursa Major, you have Ursa Minor, like you have those classifications of the Grimm in the early volumes.
Yeah.
Like think about like there's the small bear and there's the big bear and then there's the big bear, right? Right? I guess in a sense, right? But you still have it. This may be useful, and so I feel
more
like
information on Cinder there. It looked like
where
on the before there.
yeah. So this
the
was
thing.
like I don't know
Photo?
how
Okay.
that's gonna help.
I feel like we
Little
saw that
photo.
earlier.
Yeah, I think so too. Fall, comma, Cinder. Yeah. So that's like Atlas database. This is probably like really interesting, but
That's
we
one
can't
thing
see
that
a
I was
lot
kind
it.
of upset is that we never figured out what like Cinder's real name was.
We
Because I'm
may
still not
get it.
convinced it's not Cinder Fall, and I'm also not convinced they're not going to do another flashback.
It's still, oh my god. Well, hey, Jacques is still alive. All right, unfortunately.
Imagine if they actually do the like Cinder Jacques' illegitimate love child thing that he sent out to the country.
Wait, Ironwood is irredeemable, but Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury and Hazel are? Okay, well,
because
here's
the
thing.
difference is that one of them isn't changing their ways, and Emerald is changing her ways.
There's that, and also the fact that Emerald is like a kid and Ironwood is a grown-ass man. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that there's... Also, Hazel got redeemed through death, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something that we also need to keep in mind, is that I'm pretty sure that Emerald is a very big difference compared to Ironwood. I don't think that that's comparable at all. So yeah, like I think that it's a very different situation when you have Ironwood as an adult and then you have Emerald as like a kid. And like also a kid that was manipulated by Cinder, right? Like basically taken under Cinder's wing at a very young age and she was like starving and stuff. Ironwood has spiraled downward very fast. Yeah, exactly. Redemption is expected from villains, not necessarily heroes. That's kind of interesting.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Yeah. Emerald has been showing remorse since volume 2. Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
And who knows, maybe in like a severe twist of
Ironwood's
fate.
committing genocide, please.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like, I don't know. I feel like that Emerald's crimes don't measure up to
She
what
never seemed
Ironwood
to be didn't really want it to get as bad as it did.
Yeah, and I feel
She-
like the other thing, I feel like that with Emerald and even Hazel to some extent, like I feel like Emerald's whole situation is that she was abandoned in this impoverished state, and I don't know what exactly, like, I don't know what social services Vale has, or Vacuo, or whatever,
I'm getting the
but it
impression there
seems
isn't
like
one.
that, you know, poor people are just left to be poor and die, and so I can't really blame Emerald for seeking out something in Cinder if the government didn't necessarily help her. That's how these things happen, in my opinion.
Was she
right?
in Vale, or was she in...
I don't know.
I always got the...
I don't know where she was.
Maybe Minstrel? I don't know.
Yeah, and so I feel like that we have that sort of aspect of this too, is that can you really blame Emerald for getting involved with Cinder if they were not being helped or assisted? It's like Mercury. Like Mercury was being abused by his father, but what did anyone do about it? What did Remnant CPS do about it? Nothing. And you have that with Cinder as well. Like you have that Cinder is being mistreated by, you know, her family. What do the Huntsmen do about it? Nobody calls Remnant like or Atlas CPS, right? And so I feel like that it's like different. I just feel like that it's so different because Ironwood is somebody in a position of power, and Emerald and Mercury were kids that basically like fell into crime because they were neglected by the system. Ironwood is the system.
But I think
right?
my personal like argument is less on the kids thing, because I also feel like that's a similar thing with Ironwood, that he also feels like this is necessary to save the day.
Yeah.
Right? Just as Emerald felt that joining Cinder and Mercury felt that joining Cinder was necessary.
But I feel like it's different though, because like that was necessary for their survival, but
and
not
he's
Ironwood's survival.
trying to have people survive as well. He's trying to do what he thinks is right. It's not right, but what he thinks is right.
Yeah.
I think the better argument with someone like Cinder or Emerald or Mercury is that, more so with Emerald than I think Cinder or Mercury, that Emerald has shown to not been okay with a lot of the things that she's been implemented in, and that she's willing to change and do better and try to make up. I think that's
Whereas
the
Ironwood,
big thing.
he just wants to get worse.
Yeah,
like,
Ironwood's not going to like save the day now.
That the kids want to help Mantle, what does he do? He doesn't go, oh, maybe I was wrong. Instead, he doubles down even harder than ever before.
Like, I think that Ironwood would have been redeemable if instead of like going more fascist, he instead turned around and was like or I don't know, tried to save the day, or tried to work with Ruby, or tried to be honest about these things, you know?
Yeah. And so I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot to
If he valued human life a little more, you know?
And even with Hazel, like, I think that Hazel does break the kid thing, because Hazel, like, obviously was an adult, but I think similar to Emerald, you always see that Hazel was reluctant to kill, and that he only wanted to dismantle the system. He only wanted to take down the schools as an institution. He didn't necessarily want people to get hurt. Yes, that is what happened, but he didn't want that. And so I feel like that, like, pitting Hazel and Ironwood against each other makes literally no sense.
I also think that with him, it was like the means justify the ends.
Yeah.
With Hazel, he didn't necessarily like the means.
The other thing, though, is like...
And also, he started to do good near the end. He saved
blowing
Oscar
up
and all
the
these
school,
people.
right? Like, nobody was there because everybody was gone for summer vacation, right? And so there weren't necessarily going to be any casualties except for Team RWBY, who was, like, in there meddling.
Still don't blow up schools, kids at home.
No, don't do that.
With a lot of fertilizer bombs.
But I'm basically saying, like, that I feel like
Hazel... sorry, I really have to interrupt right now. I'm so sorry.
Okay. My sister wants to say hi. Sorry, guys. Okay.
Sorry, I'm asking if you want pitas. Yes, no.
Yeah, sure.
What do you want on them?
I don't know. Hunter, what do you usually get on a pita? Okay, guys,
so
very sorry.
Pitas.
We're getting it from Pita Pit. It's an intermission. It's fine.
You pick whatever. We'll eat it. Hunter's not picky. I'm picky, but it's okay.
Can you guys just like text it to me?
Fed.
Can you just like text it to me?
Sure.
Okay, but like now.
Okay.
Can you get them to like pick or something? What are they saying about me?
Crowdsource, it's too delayed.
Guys, my sister wants you to pick our Pita Pit order. Do you guys know what Pita Pit is?
Is that even an American thing? Do a lot of these people know what we're talking about?
Why are they all saying hi?
They're saying hi to you.
Oh, hi.
They're saying hi to you.
The one person who has entered the room
they haven't
since this
caught up
happened.
yet. Yeah, I don't have pitas. I don't know what to put in a pita.
Someone said I was cute. Oh, hey.
Like maybe like a barbecue chicken pita or something. Is that a thing? Yeah.
How about like a chicken Caesar?
Yeah, chicken Caesar for both of us.
Like with bacon in it?
Yeah, bacon.
Croutons?
Absolutely. Croutons, yes. Get that for me and Hunter.
I wasn't aware I was getting fed. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Apparently.
It's okay.
You don't have to. Like...
And you have a gift from Emma Gibson.
Oh,
so you can open it on your thing.
That's so lovely.
Anyways, thanks. Sorry, I really had to do that because we're watching something for dance and we need it now. So.
What's a pita? A pita's kind of like a
like flatbread
not a
that you
taco,
almost make
but
as
like
a sandwich.
almost like a wrap.
Yeah.
Like a pita's a wrap.
I'm so confused. I didn't think I was getting a lunch out of this
deal. My sister. Okay, so let's rewind. My sister has like two friends coming over because we're in like the
middling ground.
We're in the bubble where we can like have like one friend, and so she's having a friend over, and my mom is buying her friend food because like that's like the thing, that's the motion. Like my mom hasn't seen my sister, like any of my sister's friends in like a long time, so she wants to like treat them and stuff, like basically. So like Hunter's here, so she's just asking us like what we want to eat. I love that. She's like, I could not wait any longer because I feel like I saw her a couple times and she kept like looking like, are they done yet? Are they done yet? Are they done yet? She was just like, I'm coming in.
I have no idea what the hell we were even talking about because now my world is filled with shawarma.
No, she doesn't watch RWBY. She doesn't watch any like anime or anything like that. But we have like thought about the idea like, what if we got my sister to react to RWBY? Like, Mom reacts to RWBY for the first time.
I feel like your mom would get a better reaction out of this.
But yeah, who knows what we were talking about? God, okay, let's just restart. Penny hasn't come to the phone. I love how uncomfortable you looked to me. You were just like, what is happening? Okay. Meaning Watts has either been incompetent or he betrayed us. It's both, kind of. I mean,
kind of both.
What happened?
Why not both?
Watts' thing would have happened if the Hound didn't come in. That was really like their fault, right? But yeah. At this point, we'll never know. Cinder has escaped. Cinder hasn't escaped. Cinder has attacked Command and escaped with him, right? And that's not all we've lost, sir. And then he says Crow and Robin have also escaped, right? And so I feel like, Hair got like really mad. I thought that was funny too. I really like that because she's like ready, and then he's just like Stop. Don't
Down,
go.
girl, down.
Yeah, Salem's creature was destroyed, but that doesn't mean we've stopped her, and then, yeah, she'll return, blah, 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 we know that, and we are perilously close to that already. I need the Winter Maiden now, and so I feel like that, with the Crow and Robin thing, I think that there's actually something sort of tangentially connected to him wanting to use the kids as bait, because I feel like that with Ren, Jean, and Yang in custody, I feel like that what Ironwood meant by losing Crow is that they could have used Crow as leverage against RWBY at the very beginning, and then they could have, like, when they captured Ren, Yang, and Jean, they could have used them as leverage in the middle, and so they have missed their leverage point twice already, basically. Like, they have missed the point where they could have, like, been like, hey, like, RWBY, I have your uncle, like, if you know, on that phone call, in that very first, like, 2 episodes or whatever. And then after, if they had kept Yang, Jean, and Ren, they would have done it again. So I feel like that's why he brings up Crow, but you see his desperation here. Like, look at how desperate he looks, like, as he's walking around. And so I feel like that was really interesting. Schnee, bring me Ark, Ren, and Xiaolong, and why, sir? I had Crow in my hands, and I didn't do what needed to be done. So again, I feel like, because at first I was kind of confused, but I understand what he was saying now, is that he had Crow in his hands, and he could have used Crow against RWBY, but he didn't. Now, I have Jean, Ren, and Yang, so I'll do that. I'll do that instead, right? Because Crow wasn't Penny's friend, but Crow was RWBY's uncle, and so at the beginning, in that very first call, right, he may have said, like, hey, RWBY, I have your uncle, right, like, and then Penny would have been like, oh, RWBY, I can't let your uncle, like, do that for me, like, let's go, right? That could have been the desired outcome, right? But instead, now we have let's use Penny's friends against her. So at first it was let's use Crow against RWBY. So RWBY will convince Penny to come there. And now it's let's use Penny's direct friends against her, right? Even Ironwood did consider Penny a human being. He doesn't care about human lives. Yeah, like I feel, oh wait, no. Even if Ironwood did consider Penny a human being, he doesn't care about human lives. Yeah, like it doesn't matter if Penny's a robot or a human to him. It doesn't matter anymore. And so I'm ashamed I didn't think of it earlier. Leveraging the lives of her friends is the only way to make Penny listen to reason, right? And so again, I think that that's coming into
I also like that it gives the impression that, like, he's probably considered this before, but now he's like, well, I guess I have to.
Right, so I think that he did consider it to some extent. Well, he said, I'm ashamed. Well, I'm ashamed I didn't think of it earlier. So I feel like that, but what you're saying, Hunter, you're not necessarily wrong, because I feel like that what Ironwood is saying is that I would never think this because that is so morally reprehensible. It would have never entered my brain in the first place. But now I'm embracing being morally reprehensible, so why not? So I feel like that's actually what's happening here. I feel like that basically what's going on with this is I think it is along what you're saying, Hunter, the like, oh, like he thought of it, but maybe he thought it was too far. He didn't even have it in his mind because he would never morally go there until now, like until this point, right? Like that's why he's thinking of it now. And so I think it represents how far Ironwood has fallen, because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's sort of like you wouldn't think X bad thing if you didn't like subconsciously like think it on some level, and that's not actually true. Like a lot of people have like intrusive thoughts and stuff where they think things that they don't mean, like they're intrusive because they're, you know what I mean? They wouldn't be intrusive if you agreed with them. They're intrusive because you disagree. But instead I feel like it wouldn't even enter his brain. That is how upstanding of a person Ironwood was once, but not anymore. So yeah, that is where we are with that, right? And I feel like that I feel like the shoulder thing is because he doesn't just see Winter as like a subordinate. He sees Winter as, I think, a friend to some extent in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it, or like
he has a bizarre
relationship with her,
a closer relationship than just a subordinate.
Yeah, and so I don't know if it's friendship necessarily, but I think it's like mentor and student, hero and sidekick, if you will, right?
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, exactly.
Captain Genocide and Little War Crime.
Oh no.
I also love how like her eyes right now is communicating, like her mouth is kind of open, like I don't know how to tell you this, but.
So here's the thing. Hare says, I'm sorry, but we don't have them. And why the fuck? Tell me this. Why the fuck did Hare decide? Why the fuck did Hare
Yeah, or like I think she thinks that Winter's too soft, and that she wants to be controlled, and that she's the little Ironwood.
Yeah, I think that Hair wants to be the little Ironwood. I saw a point where I thought that Hair could be up for changing sides. Not redemption, okay? Two different things. Changing sides. Defecting from Ironwood, right? But I don't think so. I think that she genuinely wants to be in Winter's position, right? Because she's a bitch! Yeah, so I was just like, oh, Hair, what the fuck? You know, like the snitches get stitches or whatever you say, right?
Yeah,
like, oh god. Revenge for Winter pulling rank on her, that's a very good point, Nick. It's you pulled rank on me, and you're gonna lose your rank now, right? Like, I feel like that's sort of the thing. Like, her being like, I outrank you, and now Hair's just like sitting back here smugly like, outrank this bitch!
She seems also, she doesn't look like, if we can keep on going in the slides, it almost doesn't look like she's, okay, no, she looks a little angry. She's like, this bitch!
Bro, right?
Yeah.
So I think that she wants Winter's rank. I think that that's just how it is, especially with what you guys are saying, that Winter pulled rank on her. She's just like, let's see how, let's see what position you'll be in after I tell Ironwood the truth. Then I'll outrank you, right? So I feel like, I don't know. It is I, Dio. Like, I feel like it's going to be like one of those
a little bit,
things.
yeah.
So I feel like that's really good. And look at him. He looks at her and like he's angry, but he's also just so like disappointed dad face, confused. Why would Winter do that, right? Winter allowed them to go on board in the creature to rescue their friend, and look how sad she looks, and I'm like, Winter, no. But I feel like Winter and Marrow, they're gonna fight against Ironwood. I'm telling you,
I think
10,000%.
it used to be that I think Harriet would join them. Now I think it's just Winter and Marrow.
I think what's gonna happen is that they're being escorted on the way to the cells, and then Crow and Robin, who are coming from the cells, right? They'll be there, and then they'll like team up, basically all four of them, like we already sort of talked about, and they never came back. Look at how mad
he walks up to like Winter and Winter and Marrow being like, I don't know, imprisoned, and he's just like, oh, how the tables have tabled.
Right? And so I feel like that Winter and probably also Marrow may be headed towards the prison, and then they'll all like defect with each other. Is that Crow will be with Robin, and then they'll be with Winter.
It'll be a
Marrow.
big, I don't know, defection pride parade right out of Atlas.
Oh, that was an interesting choice of words, Hunter. Okay, great.
We're here.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot of people thought that Ironwood was gonna hurt her, but Ironwood still has standards, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that
he'll murder tons of people, but he won't personally do it.
He took out his anger on the table, okay?
That was a cool table too.
So yeah. He wouldn't hurt her, I don't think. I don't think that he would hurt her. And so yeah, I think so military ships, and what I liked about this is you can see where he hit it the first time, right? Right? You see it?
Oh yeah, like the crack.
You can see the crack from like last volume, just like how you can see the doors and how they're malformed because
he
of the
looks like
fight.
His whole room is like the drywall in an angry 13-year-old's bedroom. Just fucking holes in doors, holes in walls.
I cannot believe they blew up the fucking Schnee company ship.
That's really upsetting.
And I think that this was good because Ironwood says Weiss. He says Weiss in a very similar way to how Jacques said Weiss.
Yeah.
Remember how Jacques was like, Weiss? Like, how could you? He says it like that, right? And then look at how Winter's surprised, and Hair's just like, you're getting your comeuppance, bitch, right? Hair needs to be taken down a couple pegs, not gonna lie. Like, again, I don't hate her or anything, like, I like her character, but I don't like her person. And I think that she deserves to not.
I mean, if she gets whacked or they all get the shit kicked out of them, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, someone pointed out that he killed Sleet. Yeah, but he didn't like Sleet. He likes Winter to an extent.
It's true. That is true.
You know, he'll pop Sleet.
What was I gonna say?
Also, I'm pretty sure the person talking right now is the same guy who voiced Sleet, which was Chad James.
What do you mean the guy talking right now? You
same voice actor.
Wait, you mean the random guy that's talking
right
there?
the person who is, over the line.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because this is Ironwood talking in this line now. So no, it was Whitley. Yeah, so that's, I mean, I feel like that they did that just because, first of all, Ironwood does not give a single fuck about Whitley, right? Like, you know what I mean? He probably doesn't even think that Whitley would do it, right? And then the other reason, I just feel like narratively it kind of fits better for you know, Ironwood to say Weiss, because then Winter is thinking about how she let Weiss go and like what Weiss has been doing in the meantime. So even though Whitley technically done it, like Ironwood doesn't know that because Ironwood's not omnipresent.
Yes.
Yes. They're trying to say Mantle. I did this villain pose.
It is very like,
Yeah. And then he has an idea. This has always been about Mantle, hasn't it, right? I need to make a call, right? And so
it's kind of fucked up that he opens the shutters like he wants to watch Mantle be exploded.
I guess. I don't know what the purpose of that really was, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, guys, this is a long one, but my sister came in, so...
It's a long one, and also this episode...
We went on some tangents, there were some Peter Pit stories.
Is so dense.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Lots of dialogue, not a lot of fighting. God, my favorite fucking scene. This is the best thing that Neo's ever done.
Neo deserves to... You know, a lot of people are suggesting who to put on, like, the next dollar bill in America.
Okay, yes.
Some people think Harriet Tubman, very deserving. Some people think, you know, get rid of, like, Andrew Jackson. You know, he sucks. But keep Hamilton. We like the musical. May I suggest that after Tubman, we get this photo of Neo on the dollar bill. Yes.
We're not even American.
Yeah, we're not. Listen, I don't want it on my money, but their money is hilarious.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also love how
I love that because there's so much to unpack here.
Oh god.
Okay?
Can the use of the winking emoji and the ellipses, the use of the fact that she looks like she doesn't want Cinder to take a photo. The fact that Cinder is the type of person to take photos of people to put it on their contacts in the moment and not a photo they have of that person or from their social media.
I love that. Oh god. I think Cinder took the contact photo. So it's like Cinder was taking it and then Neo was like, no, like, whatever, like, stop that, right? And so I feel like that's so fucking funny. There's just so much to fucking unpack here, and I think that it's great. I also like that, like, it's implied that the scroll must have some sort of transparency setting.
Yeah.
Where they cropped Neo out of the background of whatever it was, right? I'm assuming it was on the airship, right?
Yeah.
Like, when they were spending time together,
they must have been bored as shit on the airship.
And Neo's like, no, oh my god, Neo is great. I don't care what you guys say. I don't care who thinks she's overrated. The fact that they were able to deliver so much information with just a couple fucking pictures, like, look at this.
I love that her pinky's out. She's holding it really daintily.
Look at that. Guys,
the fact
I do not love her.
The fact that she had to put the phone up on something, walk away, and then pose. Everything that's built up in this, the fact that she stepped away from an act of mass death.
Fun, okay? Put some respect on it, guys. Neo is such a fun character. I will not take the slander. Thank you. Anyway, and the picture of the lamp, like,
I really want
funny.
RWBY to release, like, a really high-quality photo of that image.
Oh, God.
Like the JPEG that they used in production, I demand it. It needs to happen.
And I like this. Your boss won't stay dead, but you will. So that's funny, right? Oh my god, that's such a Neo thing to say. And it's funny because we actually see Neo's personality because she types something. Like, that's one of her... Like, you remember, like, her saying, like, lose this, or, like, typing to Roman, or, like, guess who? Winky face. Like, you see her typing to Roman about RWBY, but this is, like, the most dialogue that we have gotten from Neo.
Yeah.
Right? And so you really see her personality. Like, her personality really shines through, right? Did someone survive? And it's just like, if you want her name, you know what you owe me. I like that. I really like that.
I love her so much.
Oh, God.
But this really opens up a can of worms because,
put the
like,
Neo pose on a shirt.
Is Cinder
a Mad Hatter Tea Party theme type of pinky up kind of like wacky shirt? Yeah.
I feel like you could make like a "Can I has cheeseburger" type meme.
Oh God, yeah, the RWBY Twitter, they would.
Yeah, they
would, wouldn't they? Did you see? Oh my God.
Oh, the Cinder, the Salem thing.
The chicken tendies or whatever. I don't hate them. That's very mean. I hate the boomer shit that they post. Let's put it that way, okay? I don't like the boomer chicken tendies. It's just like somebody posted a parody of it, and it was Penny reaching out to say, I'm sorry, and it was something like when you accidentally
boomer
to do
thing.
something,
I
you
feel
know
like
what
it's
I
a
mean?
millennial thing.
No.
Like when a
I'm a millennial.
is,
I don't appreciate.
No,
that.
you're Gen Z.
Oh,
You and
am
I
I?
are in that in between place.
Oh, okay.
Because we're 98 and 99 respectively.
Damn.
I also like the implication that like Cinder then has to hunt and kill RWBY. Like, will she succeed?
And also, Neo's still typing, right? So
And then it
maybe she
cuts
said
to-
other stuff,
It
right?
cuts right back to RWBY. Like, I wonder, like, is she gonna be totally okay with hunting RWBY? If she fails again, will that be the straw that broke the camel's back?
Yeah.
Where Cinder just can't do it anymore.
That'll be interesting
That
because
could
now
be
I
really
think she's gonna.
interesting.
I feel like she's gonna go after RWBY because
And she might just leave
what?
fucking Watts on the rooftop.
Maybe.
Oh,
But
well.
now because of the broadcast, she knows that Penny is with RWBY,
Yeah.
right? And so what could happen is that she says like. Neo's holding the relic over my head, so I need to go get RWBY. But, like, the robot is with RWBY too, so I can do two of the things, and I will do them right this time. Because, like, that was the whole thing Watts criticized her for, was doing the whole, like, oh, you wanted all of your revenge in one place. Well, look, all of her objectives are in one place again. Could she
A little
succeed
bit
this
like
time?
that.
I mean, she can't kill RWBY,
Yeah.
but, like...
You know.
Well, wait, like, does Neo want Cinder to kill RWBY, or does she want...
Her to bring her RWBY.
Yeah,
so she
to
can
bring
whack
her RWBY, or give her RWBY's location.
Or maybe that would be interesting if RWBY finally was able to say, it's like, you know I didn't kill him, right?
Yeah, I feel like that it can't be killing RWBY. She wants the satisfaction of that herself. So I think that what Neo actually is asking Cinder to do is give her RWBY's location. Is like,
Maybe.
figure out where RWBY is and bring RWBY to me. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that's the idea with
Yeah.
that. It's not actually like, kill RWBY for me.
Maybe
it's
just beat
get
the
RWBY.
tar out of RWBY.
Yeah, get RWBY for me. And so maybe Cinder will be like, I can steal the maiden powers and then I can bring RWBY to Neo so Neo can kill RWBY.
Which, I don't know if all of
right?
Team RWBY plus Oscar would be a fair fight. Because, like, I don't know if
figure it out.
if Cinder would be able to beat them.
But Penny's hacked, so that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah, maybe if
right?
they work
Two
together,
maidens
I don't know.
against all of them, and maybe Emerald. If Emerald,
I don't
caves at the
know.
first sight of seeing Cinder.
I think Emerald's gonna pause and then save the day and, like, punch her in the jaw.
But yeah,
But then again, Emerald has that kind of power battery reserves, and she was able to rest a little bit where the
Yeah.
rest of Team RWBY has not. So I can understand maybe her being able to
also,
like,
yeah,
smack them all.
Chad is right that we don't know what else she was gonna say, right?
Mhm.
And so yeah. I feel like that's really interesting.
Yeah.
The lamp shouldn't matter as much to her, but it's not about the lamp
It's
in terms
about
of Cinder wanting
Salem.
it. It's in terms of Salem
Yeah.
kicking her fucking ass if the lamp disappeared, right? So I feel like that it is important to her. You know what I mean? It's important to Cinder because it's important to Salem, and that was the one good thing that Cinder did after like months of being useless, and now it's gone. Like and if Cinder, or I guess if Salem found out that Neo was the one that did it, right? Neo would not be the one to face the punishment. Cinder would be the one to face the punishment because she brought Neo into the fold.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm gonna say. And so yes, like Penny's maiden powers is part of like the priority, but at the same time, it's about Salem not being fucking pissed. So I
Yes.
feel like that, Cinder being the Cinder that she is, she will try to go for
The
both at the
Cinder
same
Ray, if
time.
you will.
Like she will try to do both at the same
Mhm.
time. Like she'll try to get the maiden powers from Penny and then use that against
Yeah.
RWBY, probably.
But
yeah.
but it's the implication, I think, that it cuts immediately from this conversation to RWBY that they're talking
This
about.
song
RWBY.
is great. I would like to
Yes.
sing it. So be excited
Ooh.
for that.
I love
really
that she
like-
runs and jumps and hugs, because I feel like people
Yeah.
were getting questionable, or they were
They were
not loving the fact that there wasn't a lot of sisterly interaction between
Yeah.
the two. So the fact that they
I mean,
love
I
each
think
other.
them fighting does
Yeah, they're
count
not
as
fighting.
a sisterly interaction.
Yes.
But it's nice to see that they're not fighting, and I
Mhm.
like that they focus on this moment because again,
Mhm.
like people were kind
She's
of,
crying, my
like
baby.
Yen doesn't even care about RWBY anymore. And
Mhm.
so I feel like that this scene was really good. I like to see her crying. I think that the sisterly bond stuff was really nice. And then we have like them.
Weird
okay.
hold hands.
Hello, Lancaster shippers. How we feeling, right?
It's a little.
I mean, you can hold hands with
It's a
someone.
it's a weird yeah, but there's a difference between.
Platonically.
But then there's like,
Yeah,
it's a little weird,
it is
right?
a little weird, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably just a little moment and we're reading too into it. What's really like a romantic moment
I don't
is
think,
like...
honestly, I kind of think that John and Ruby may be happening more than Rose Garden.
Oh, between John and Ruby and Rose
two.
Garden?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm a
They
little
did
more...
have that weird moment in
Yeah.
Volume 7
Yeah.
that was a thing that
I don't know.
existed. But yeah, like, anyway, I just, like, they can be platonic, but
It
like,
could be platonic.
I don't know, like, people always talk about, like, I wish that there was, like, a platonic, relationship between, like, guys and girls and they could just be friends.
Yeah.
But regardless of if it's John or Oscar, you'll always have the other, right? If Ruby gets with John, Oscar will be her platonic friend. If Ruby got with Oscar, John would be her platonic friend. If Ruby gets with Penny, both of them will be her platonic friends, right? And so I'm just sort of like, I'm just thinking, that's all I'm
But
say.
also, like, nuts and bolts exists, and I love it.
Yeah,
And
well, that's what
I think
I'm saying,
that's the
right?
superior one. I'm hate to say it.
Yeah, oh my god, Freezer Burton divorced ex-wives. I love that.
Aw.
That's so funny. Because remember, Eddie said that they're divorced.
I don't
Yang
remember
and
that.
Weiss, you don't remember that? They
divorced?
posted, like, which one of your favorite ships would, like, be in a messy divorce, and he said Freezer Burn.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I
There's
can
such
see that.
divorce energy, don't ask me how, and so I think that's so funny. I love
I
that.
watched a fan fiction where, I think Weiss gets a divorce or Weiss cheats on Ruby with Yang.
Oh my god.
So I guess other people feel that way.
That reminds me of some Tai Yang stuff, to be honest.
Yeah,
Anyway.
a little bit. Also, Ruby and John hold hands. But this is intense. I legitimately thought they were gonna kiss, but they end up just doing the little like head touchy thing they did.
Let's talk about this.
And she's blushing. And they did the head touchy thing that they did after they killed, Adam.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a connection there. I don't know, man. What's gayer? Being gay or whatever the fuck they got going on.
Here's the thing, okay? Do I wish that they just kissed? Yes. Could there be a better moment in the future that I don't know about?
Probably.
Yes. And so on one hand, I'm not gonna be like super judgmental this quickly because there could be a better kiss moment later, right? So that's why we didn't pop the party popper, was because, like, I'm pretty sure this is confirmation at this point. Like, this is explicitly romantic. We're already here. We're so close. We are, like, 1 degree removed, right, from a kiss happening. And so on one hand, do I kind of wish that they kissed? Like, yeah, like, just a little one. You know what I mean? Guys, I don't think it's bait, though. Like, I don't think that this constitutes as ship baiting. This is building up to a kiss. It's like Renora holding hands before they kissed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not, like, nobody, like, you don't need to make out right away, right? And so I feel like
I feel like this is even more personal with them. It's like the thing that they did once they finally feel relieved.
Exactly.
Like when they were relieved that Adam, was finally gone and they didn't have to worry about him. They're relieved that they're finally back together.
Sure.
After this intense moment of danger. I think that, I think it really works for them.
Yeah.
And I'm really for the moment. I think a kiss is gonna come eventually.
Yeah.
Like, that popper might be dusty in 7 years, but it's happening,
Yeah, and I feel like that they don't need to kiss in order to be a valid relationship.
Yes.
And so I feel like that's kind of important, right? Like, I feel like that ultimately they do not need to explicitly kiss in order for them to be valid. Would I like them to kiss? Yes, but I feel like that we're already at confirmation zone, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who can deny that this is romantic anymore, right? Yeah, like, Blake did kiss Sun, but, like, I don't know, like,
that was
different
like a friendly,
relationships with different people,
context.
right?
They didn't, like, hold each other lovingly in their arms.
Yeah, but I think what people are saying is, oh, Blake kissed Sun, so why not, like, kiss Yang sooner than she is kissing Yang, or not kissing Yang. But it's like every relationship works at their own pace. People don't need the kiss to be in a romantic relationship. Yeah, and I feel like it's a fine...
And it's definitely like a...
It's a fine line, right?
I don't feel like it's bait.
I take issue with the kiss being the ultimate form of intimacy. Yes.
Yeah.
The head touches are so much more intimate, like, and romantic than that. I agree with that, Dar. I also think, like, it's a tricky line to walk, because on one hand, you have the whole thing. The whole thing. You have the thing of, is this queer baiting? if like it's not like
I wouldn't
explicitly
say that, no.
shown. Like
Just,
on
like,
one
accept
hand,
a little nuance in your life.
sure,
you
but
know?
you have people that like they really want to see the kiss happen, so it becomes like very, very, very undeniable.
Yes.
So it's very explicitly canon, and other people cannot deny it, right? And I understand that, but on the flip side, like I also feel like that we need other ways to validate relationships other than kissing. We should not force characters to kiss just so that some homophobe can understand that they're romantic, right? Like, and that people like stop, you know, being like, oh, well they're just good friends, right? Like I don't feel like the kiss like should be necessary in order to do that. That's more a problem with people's way of thinking than it is, I think, with like, you know what I mean? I don't think the responsibility is necessarily like on the writers to be like, well, if we don't show it like this, like obviously some people like will like think that, like some people will still say that it's friendship. It's about normalizing like these acts of intimacy are not just gals being pals, right? That's what I feel like that it's doing. And so I would like to see them kiss in the future, but I feel like that this is actually more romantic, right? And so I feel like that this is fine. Like I feel like that it's good. I still feel like that it's good. And I feel like that at this point, like the ship is confirmed. The ship is confirmed.
More or less.
That's it, right? And so, yeah, people are gonna deny any romance being canon until a kiss. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you shouldn't have to force people to kiss in order just to prove something.
There shouldn't be like a kind of Alfred Hitchcock presents thing where like Miles or Carrie shows up beforehand and like, you see, they're gay.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know,
right?
I think it's subtle. I mean, it's not even that subtle. It's pretty unsubtle. It's just not a kiss.
I mean, I wouldn't say that homophobes wouldn't be watching the show. There are homophobes that still watch the show.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
Because we get like those YouTube comments and those like Discord messages and tweets of people who are like,
I think it's incredibly naive to think that the homophobes have left the building and it's just like the Bumblebee shippers that are mad that they didn't kiss. I don't think that it's like that at all. In fact, I think all of the Bumblebee shippers I've seen today are like fucking elated.
Yeah.
Like they are like so happy, and so I feel like that really, like I don't know. I can't say for every Bumblebee shipper or anything, but I'm just saying that I feel
love
like
how they're having a moment
it.
and Weiss and Ruby are just watching them. I'm like, aw.
So funny.
They're gay. I also like how Ren's like, where's Nora? Like,
he wants to have a moment too, and I think that was really nice. I feel like that was good, right?
I'm sorry. I love how polite Weiss looks, just holding her hands, watching them.
And now she's gonna bring Nora to Ren. I hope we get a Nora Ren moment next episode. I'm gonna wear my Nora shirt because I got it from the Rooster Teeth store, so I want to wear it, and I will be very excited. Have you guys seen the song lyrics? No. We haven't. We listened to them. I don't think it would be just a Bumblebee song, but I think it would be probably representative of like all of them being brought back together. But yeah, like I don't know. It sounded like a nice song. I just don't remember.
I love how trashed the main foyer looks. Like there's still garbage and broken. Like
they said, White Rose not happening. Oh my God.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay. So look at this, right?
They were about
to hug. Okay, that's a level above what she was doing with John. And so I don't know. At this point, I do kind of feel like they are going to Rose Garden, but they're not going to do it now. They'll do it like
I don't think
Oscar,
so.
like Ozpin has died and like stopped reincarnating, and now Oscar gets to be his own person, and then they get together at the very end of the show.
Maybe
when they're like
I'm not discounting it
or something.
I'm not discounting it, but I still
Weiss
like
and
nuts
Ruby
and
are the
bolts
biggest
snore.
Bumblebee shippers.
Yes. I also really, I don't know, I like Nuts and Bolts too much to let it go. And I like the idea of like Penny coming back one last time if she does die again. You know, I like that ship. I get why people like it, but I'm Team Nuts. Ever since Volume 7, I'm Team Nuts and Bolts till I die.
Do you deny that scene in Volume 7 was kind of weird?
I don't deny it.
It was kind of weird, wasn't it?
I don't deny it.
Right?
But I also feel like the hug, also I feel like,
Emerald Ruined Rose Garden!
I almost feel like a hug is less intimate than holding hands and looking at each other.
Sure, that's actually kind of true.
Honestly?
Gazing lovingly at each other's eyes, like,
that's
what was
weird.
that, John?
A hug! Friends hug all the time. That's not weird. holding each
the
other's
chat's
hands
saying that
feels
too.
weird.
Joe, I actually agree. I think that you and Hunter are on the same like.
I think that
wavelength.
they're honestly. I think that's. I'm not gonna say like the other stuff wasn't there. It most definitely was there. I think this is just friendly. But that holding hands, that was even weirder.
She shows no concern after seeing him bloody. I mean, everyone's a little bloody. It'd be like that, you know what I mean? Then she sees Emerald and she's like, right?
What I find interesting here is that she has her guns back.
Yeah.
So they gave her guns back.
Yeah.
I think they trust her more. Everyone trusts each other and everyone wants each other more than they're letting each other on.
It's interesting because Oscar like throws himself in front of Emerald, right? And so I think that they've shown like that level of trust with each other, right? And look at all their Ruby's like, because I feel like Ruby has personal beef with Emerald. Like Ruby was personally lied to. Thank you, Angelina, for becoming a member of the Royal Advisors. That is the tier where you guys can watch our reaction today if you guys want to. So keep that in mind. That is the tier that you can.
I love the different reactions. Like Ruby is not having it.
Surprise!
Weiss looks kind of surprised.
Blake is kind of like, whatever.
Huh? Like, okay.
But
John and Ren
Ruby's,
and them
like,
already
angry.
knew.
Right, but like, I'm dying, guys. I don't think I can record.
Ren almost looks like he's like, oh, we did give her guns back, didn't we? Like he's surprised by this.
God, yeah, I don't think I can record Promise Neverland today. I think I need to do it tomorrow. I'm like dying. I need a lozenge or something. We'll see. But yeah, so I really like this because Ruby, I feel like, is the one that has been most personally
Tap on the back.
lied to. Because Emerald was like, oh yeah, my teammates are here. They're just socially awkward. Like, ha ha ha. They were sort of palling around sometimes, right? Like, so I feel like that Ruby feels personally betrayed. And then we have kids, the cargo ships you said just made it.
How great a voice actor Kaden Jensen is?
Oh yeah.
I feel like she needs to be in more shit.
Yeah.
Like this scene in
Kaden needs her own show.
Yeah, the amount of like chaos and angst and like sort of fear in her voice in this scene was really great.
Blake of all people, I think, is open to redemption from people who have been involved with bad organizations. Yeah, that's true. And I saw a lot of similarities between Blake and Emerald, and I think I kind of made a video about that.
Yeah, I also feel like Weiss is the same. That's why I've always kind of shipped Emerald and Weiss together, because I feel like they come from similar situations of like being part of kind of.
Wait, Weiss?
Yes, Weiss and Emerald.
Oh, okay.
Because like the Shani Dust Company, Salem, both are kind of broadly very immoral organizations that you were kind of slipped into, and then you.
Emerald and Weiss are sort of like discount Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Or not Bumblebee, sorry, discount Monochrome.
Yes.
Right? Because it's the same stuff that Blake went through roughly. It's like a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Right? There's certain similarities. So yeah, like Emerald, what did I say? Emerald and Weiss is like kind of poor man's Monochrome.
Although, I don't know, I think it would work pretty well too.
Yeah.
Other than maybe we don't have as much.
And so like... This is horrifying, right? First of all, right? May, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh my God, run, because they're not bombing the city yet, but they are destroying the ships, and the ships will fall out of the sky into the mines. God.
This is not going to go well.
Do you remember how we said that they would go into the mines for warmth and that would be like horrible?
Yeah.
It's happening again. Like it's happening now, right? And so like this is terrifying, right? And I love this because Blake holds her cat ears, and I thought that was really
my precious. I love her so much.
Funny. But yeah, so this is the emergency. So what this reminded me of is, I don't know if you guys have this in America, but for us, whenever we get an Amber Alert, like our phones like go fucking crazy, and that's what that reminded me. Emerald versus Mercury. I mean, I think that Mercury actually wanted to defect, but Tyrion kidnapped him. Like basically, you see how reluctant Mercury is to leave? I don't think that Mercury will actually like want to do bad next time we see him. I think that he just got wrapped up in it, right? Didn't the mines get blown up? Well, some of them, but I don't think all of the mines in all of the world have been destroyed. There's lots of mines, right? So yeah, so they destroyed the Shani Dust Company airships, and it's kind of sad because like the good thing that Whitley did
is being
right.
You know,
Whitley must be so upset. I can only imagine like Whitley and Willow are upstairs with Penny, and they're also watching on their phones, and Whitley's like, like, I do good things, and they foil my by good things. What's the point? Like, I don't know. He'll probably, because that's probably the first time he's done a good thing, and it has backfired to this amount of capacity. And so it's one of those things where you have to learn, like, you still still do good things, even though your good things backfire. You don't stop doing good things just because it doesn't work out. I feel like that's an important lesson, right? Can we talk about the lighting here?
How do I make myself look friendly and invitable? I know!
This is kind of hammy and a little cliche, but do I love it?
Yeah.
I love it. Like, even though people are probably like, wow, they made Ironwood into this, like, super villain, he's not like this, right? And so, I get it, I understand, but do I love this? Yeah, like, I think that Ironwood is a very theatrical character in a lot of ways, maybe not as much as Watts or something, but I still feel like that he is, right? He looks like he's about to sing a one-man cover of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, it does have Bohemian Rhapsody vibes, doesn't it?
He's theatrical, right? And so I feel like that, like, I get it, but I love this shot. I love this shot so much. It's technology, it's future. From those who would see it destroyed. Our enemy is crippled, but one individual still denies Atlas its salvation, the protector of Mantle. It's so dramatic, they hit the mood. Exactly, right? This is the music video set for Hero, God. Penny, wherever you and your friends are, I need you to listen. And I saw Markle, if you guys don't know who Markle is, like, they're a community member. I think I liked the tweet, but I didn't retweet it just because it didn't have spoiler tags. But they posted about how Ironwood is up here talking to Penny, and Penny's the, like, I sleep meme. Have you seen that meme? Because she is. I need you all to listen. I know how much Mantle means to you. What I really love about this lighting, again, the lighting people fucking killed it.
Yeah,
like,
the lighting in this episode
they
really
went ham on it, and what I love is that Ironwood's eyes are so piercing. Like, Ironwood's eyes are so beautiful, like, in, like, the lighting.
So beautiful.
It's just so good. Like, oh my god, they did such a good job. Because, again, it's not just animation, it's lighting and, like, the after effects of it, too. Yeah. And so I feel like they did such a fucking good job. And I just love how piercing his eyes are compared to the rest of the set. You can bring yourself to Atlas Academy, and do your duty. Help me save as much as Atlas as I can, and Mantle will be left to fend for itself. Or you can all watch as I destroy it, right? And so then you see, like, how surprised Weiss is. Like, would Ironwood really fucking do that? Yeah, he would. I have one bomb. That's all it'll take. If there is no Mantle, then there's no reason for you not to work with me. I feel like Watts and Cinder are even sitting here like, what the fuck?
What a heel turn.
I feel like that they're feeling it too, don't you? Like, don't you feel like that they're just sitting there like, fucking really, mate? Like, we didn't expect Ironwood to do this, but now they know where Penny is, that Penny is with Ruby. Yeah. And that Penny is with her friends, and where they could be going, to Atlas Academy. And so I feel like everyone is going to come into this collision where Robin and Crow are in the building, Team Ruby's in the building, Penny is in the building, Cinder's in the building, Neo is following Cinder, who is following Penny, because now Neo, if she sees this, would also know
Watts is still on the roof.
That where Ruby is, because if Ruby's with Penny, all she has to do is follow the trail, right? And so I feel like that there's just so much, right? Everyone is gonna come into one area. That's what I believe. Like, that's where I believe we're going. Neither of us wanted to come to that. Look how mad John is. John is like, how fucking dare you? Like, how could you? But one of us is willing to do it. I think that's interesting. I think that's a really good line for him, right? Like, neither of us wanted it to come to this, but one of us is actually willing to go that
could result in the death of, like, 2 or 3 millions of people.
Well, I think, to some extent, I feel like that Ironwood is counting on the fact that this is a bluff and that he wouldn't actually do it.
I don't know,
and that the kids will come, right? But at the same time, you have to think, well, if the bluff doesn't work, like, what leverage do they have over Team RWBY if he does bomb a Mantle? Like, I feel like that to some extent, I think that he does want to to some extent I think that he, like, would do it if it would help him.
Maybe
but it
that's
doesn't
a
help
conversation that they have next episode of, like, is he bluffing or does he really mean it?
Oh yeah, so Blue in the chat basically said the exact same thing I was thinking. I mean, let's be real, he meant for the bomb to destroy the whale, which was like a quarter of the size of Atlas. It wouldn't have enough power to destroy all of Mantle. It's clearly a bluff. Yes, I think that that's actually
But if
true.
all of them are concentrated near the mines, he could still kill a lot of people.
Yeah, like, I feel like that the mines would possibly cave in. But yeah, like that's the whole thing, right? Like the fact that everyone is going into the dust mine, and we know that dust is like not radioactive, but
Volatile.
like reactive and volatile. So I feel like that on one hand,
It could
is
cause
a
a chain
it is
reaction
bluff.
and kill even more people.
What if Ruby sends Penny down to Mantle, but she can't because Penny's hacked, so Penny's gonna go to the vault, right? And so I feel like that he's willing to do it, but he's also bluffing.
Yeah.
I know that sounds contradictory, but I feel like that those are two different things. He's willing to do it if it comes down to that, but at the same time, like, he is hoping that the kids care about Mantle enough that he won't have to. He's using it against them. He never thought that he would have to, but he is.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. It's sort of hard to explain. And I'm not saying that, like, oh, Ironwood's good, actually, because he wouldn't actually kill those people. I'm instead saying that I think that Ironwood recognizes that if he bombs Mantle, Team RWBY would never cooperate. And so really it's just the threat of will he, won't they? Like, they can't not, like, they can't sacrifice the people of Mantle, or they can't offer Mantle up for sacrifice on a bet, on a 50-50 chance, right? And so I feel like that it's more of, instead of, mwahaha, I want to kill all these people, it's, if I threaten them, they will come, and no one will have to be killed, and Mantle will just fend for themselves. I feel like that's a very interesting nuance that is actually very important, because Ironwood won't kill, like, he won't kill them. He's not doing it like, I would love to kill them. You know what I mean? He's not doing it in that way. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, like, that's my analysis
Holding them
of
hostage,
it, right?
mostly.
He's holding them hostage, exactly, right? He knows that if he, like, just killed them, there would be, like, no resolution to Team RWBY working with him. At the same time, he does say, like, if Mantle wasn't an issue, like, Team RWBY would have no choice but to work with me.
You know what I think might happen?
Yeah.
Like, he sends the like, if do anything other than what I've ordered, Mantle is gone. So maybe we have that big thing we predicted where everyone's up in Atlas and they're all fighting each other. And he sends the bomb to be dropped. And so as the ship that carries the bomb is going down, Maria and Pietro, in one of their stolen Atlas vehicles, like, saves the day. I feel like, because that would be something for them to do.
I
Maria
feel like
is
there
a
should
good
be
pilot.
a big bad thing to happen, though. I feel like something bad should happen. I don't feel like that.
I still feel like
the two elderly citizens saved the day. You know?
Maybe the bomb doesn't go off, but I still feel like Atlas falls and a similar thing happens.
It's the way to back RWBY into an ideological corner. Exactly. Like, it's about that. Like, it's about they can't risk Mantle's lives on, like, the idea that Ironwood wouldn't do it. But yeah, I don't think that, like, Maria and Pietro, like,
just an idea. Just an idea.
I feel like something bad needs to happen this volume.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's. I love how we all thought it was Atlas dropping, and it
I still
turns
think
out to
Atlas
just be a bomb.
should fall, but, like, I'm saying, like, either way, I don't want everything to be like, oh yeah, like, we stopped the bomb and we saved the day. Woohoo!
I don't think it'll be like
I don't
that.
want it to be like that.
I think a lot of people will still die. And, like, Atlas
1 hour
will fall.
to respond. And so I feel like next episode is going to be them sort of deciding what to do, and then also, like, starting to do it.
My poor baby.
I hope you live
My
up to
poor
the
sleeping
title I
baby.
gave you. And she's just not even awake.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking hilarious. Then we have some
And then-
concept art, right? And Hunter noticed something interesting, that even though the whale is dying, a lot of goop is still coming from its mouth, and that goop is probably going to turn into, like, Grim or something. I don't think it's like whale guts. It's like again that goop.
I had that idea
slime.
earlier that when it explodes it would launch goop. I still think maybe it breaks down, but it breaks down into goop.
Into
and
more, like, smaller Grim.
It
I think
sends
that's
another
true.
like last final like really big volley of
agree.
Grim.
Then we have some concept art of the scene where they were on the roof. And then we have some in the subway.
Oh wait, go back.
Why is Emerald in her old outfit?
That is interesting. I think not all of them are, but you know who else I noticed in the corner is, I think that's the fat lady that drops...
From the party?
Yes. Oh, there's two of them. There's another one over there.
Okay.
There's the big lady who drops all the wine on herself. So that's interesting in that this version it was more like the Atlas elites that they find, and not just like the regular folk.
Exactly. So it seems like it was more of a mixture of, yes, some of the elites, but then also there's just the regular people that live in Atlas. There's the kids... and so, yeah, that's an interesting observation, Hunter. You're right that it did seem like, oh, it's more the elite down here and their fancy, like, dresses and stuff, but it seems they went for a more measured approach to have, yes, like, there are rich people in Atlas, but Atlas is not just all rich people, it's also middle class. class, like higher middle class, right? And then the Atlas Academy students. But yeah, that is basically it from us, guys. I think that we're pretty much done. I don't think that I'm recording anymore today. I think that I'll do Promise Neverland tomorrow morning, probably before Hunter and I record. And then
Gonna eat
Hunter
some
and I will
pitas,
record.
apparently.
And then I'll do Attack on Titan. But I don't think my voice is in the right shape to do Neverland, and I don't want to hurt myself. So yeah, that'll basically be all from us. And so yeah, if you guys, I know that Dar has been posting those links. I genuinely kind of want to see how many people actually join the Discord server, like based on like Dar and me trying to like post and stuff. Okay,
people.
we got a couple people. All right, not bad. But yeah, otherwise, I feel like, what was I gonna say? I don't know what I feel like anymore.
So,
I feel like we did a great job. You guys can go watch our reaction. You should join the Discord.
It was a good
server.
reaction. I think this is one of the best
I'll
episodes
post the links again, like
of
one
RWBY,
more time.
this volume.
If you guys want to
of
watch
all
our
time,
reaction,
probably,
if you
well.
guys want to join our Discord, yeah, this episode was great. Definitely a contender. Definitely like a great like episode for the Oscars for sure. But that is all from us. I hope that you guys enjoyed. We will see you guys later. But yeah, forgive me if other videos are a little bit late because this was like a lot today.